hatchery even starts tasteless.
Yeah, yeah. So there was no threat here for the drone, but he wanted to play it safe and make sure it doesn't get cut off by like a Reaper or something. So he's going to have that third hatchery starting. And let's see how well Zerg can grow. This is a map where you have a pretty long travel distance to get to where the other, the other side of the map is. So pushing's not going to be that easy. The easiest way to look at a map TVZ a lot of times and see, which one it favors is, how pushable and how quickly can it be done as Terran. The further apart you are, the harder it is to get to the Zerg, the better it is for the Zerg.
Double factory gets thrown down here by
Whoa,
Clem.
okay.
We were talking about how unlikely it will be that Clem goes for something like this, but it looks like Clem is going to be opting to go for 3CC into mech.
Wow, okay. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, that's factory number 3. 2 and 3 in production.
I was so confident this was not going to be mech.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, I was wondering what the game plan would be with how fast the third Vespene Geyser came in there, the natural expansion, but I kind of just attributed it to me, not really knowing the way TVZ players develop with these like super fast third CCs on 300 minerals where you delay the gas until later on. I thought maybe he's going to use that gas, get faster medevacs out, try and get really fast double upgrades or something going, but no, it's going to be factories number 2 and 3 already coming online here for Clem. And Cyril's going to spot both gases. You can see there on the minimap, he knows that Clem is taking both gases, the natural expansion, and Clem likely took those after he took the gases in the main base. So Cyril's going to know that this is going to be a very gas-based build, so this Overlord Scout is crucial. Cyril wants to see what's going on. He sees the second factory, and now he knows this is going to be something like Battle Mech.
Yeah. I don't know how much of mech working is hinged on them being surprised by it or not. You know what I mean? Obviously, seeing it is massive because you realize the game is in a completely different trajectory than what we would consider like a normal TVZ to be. But yeah, he sees it. And so this is going to be a lot of Cyclones coming out here. This is a super mobile way to play. And it's going to be putting a little bit of pressure on Zerg here. We'll see how much damage it can actually get off, though.
Yeah, I wonder how much damage Clem actually needs to connect with here versus Cyril, because keep in mind, the opening from Clem, it was so greedy. Only just now is Cyril at some moments getting an income advantage over Terran. And so for Clem, I think with this battle mech, like maybe you want to trade out the Hellions because they're cheap, they're mineral-only units. But as long as you're continuing to build up, in particular the Cyclone numbers here is Clem, I think you're pretty much happy with any trade.
Yeah, he's just going to start by picking off a couple of these creep tumors. Cyril does have some lings over here to, I think, basically intercept these reinforcements. And look at that. Clem sets up perfectly to basically surround those lings, merge up, and then continue on with his pressuring. I
mean, it almost feels like more Hellions than lings there for a moment as Clem just continuing to power up. That's, what, 2 or 3 more factories in production? I mean, the Battle Mech, it's not a very expensive composition with the Cyclones and the Hellions, so typically you are going to mass those numbers out very quickly, but the rate at which this is coming online here for Clem is ludicrous. I mean, the supplies are still even between Cyril and Clem, and Cyril's going into roaches.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot more roaches are going to be coming out here. So the Battle Mech's style is, he's going to be able to put some pressure in here. I don't think he's going to be able to deny the 4th base. But I think getting a 5th base is basically going to be impossible for now for Cyril. If you look at the position on the map, the 5th base, whichever side of the map he takes it on, is really far away. And this is one of those maps. Oh my god, we already got a couple more drones getting killed here. Hold on. Is he going to get another shot off? Okay, he actually might be able to poke out this 4th. I stand corrected.
Yeah, with no roach speed yet, still 10 seconds away, it's very hard for Cyril to actually connect onto the Cyclones and the Hellions with these roaches, even though it's on creep. And so Clem getting a lot of chip damage in there versus Cyril. And Cyril's sitting on just 3 base saturation, 67 drones. He's going to be pumping the gas right now in terms of roaches. He's going into tunneling claws. He knows he needs some kind of tricky plays to try and get the momentum back on his side. But Clem just continuing to push in, continuing to kite, scanning, keeping the vision even on something like Overlords. Anything you can do to just win this war of attrition is huge for Clem, and I love this play that Cyril's setting up for. It's not a bailing landmine, it is a ton of roaches burrowed over here on the left side. If he pops these on the Cyclones, it's gonna be huge. Oh. But there's a Raven!
That was crazy. Yeah, there's a Raven right there. He was, for a second, looks like he wanted to chuck the auto turret down to maybe even body block it. Crazy. So he's gonna continue to put pressure onto this 4th base, and looks like that was just cleaned up, a small Ling counterattack there. Cyril's going to try to run around here, maybe intercept reinforcements again.
Cyril needs to do something to try and slow the roll here of Clem. And he's going to be going for a surround right now, but the Cyclones and the Hellions, they are so fast. This Roach flank coming in from Cyril, only actually able to pick off one of those Cyclones. Now they are getting on top of the Hellions, but the Cyclones dishing out so much damage, plus the addition of Banshees. It's air-to-ground attacks that cannot be contested by Cyril's army. He's just putting an additional timer on this composition by Cyril, and Cyril is doing a very good job of connecting with the Roaches. On Cyclones, on Hellions, he was able to whittle down this BattleNet composition quite a bit, but he still doesn't have an answer to the overall comp of Clem.
Yeah, you know, it's rough. I mean, you could just see the Cyclones are like, they're better units than the Roaches, right? I mean, they can chase, they can run away and kite. But you're going to have this kind of overwhelming amount where you can basically chase down the mech units and corner them and clobber them. And I don't know that Cyril's quite there yet. Now, the fourth base is not gone, but it has not really had drones mining at it. It's almost like a placeholder.
Yeah, Cyril's still sitting on basically 3-base saturation. And by the way, Clem is going for what is, in my opinion, just a brilliant tech switch right now. It's not even really a tech switch. He's just adding it to the composition of the battle mech. He's going into Hyperflight Rotor Banshees.
Yeah.
These speed Banshees are going to pair so well with the Cyclones and the Hellions. You know, Banshees, once they have that speed, they're like as fast as a Mutalisk, man. They will be able to chase down these Roaches. And there is still no meaningful anti-air here for Cyril. I'm not sure what he's going to go into to try and deal with these Banshees, because once the Banshee number gets up to like 7 or 8, the damage output is going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty insane. You can see the Roaches not quite able to reach their targets. Clem having a micro, you know, in all these different places at once. But, you know, the Roaches are going to start to come down here and hit both of these bases. This actually could be a position where I don't know if Clem's going to be able to stabilize on his 4 bases. He's going to end up possibly losing a lot of workers.
Yeah, Clem is able to hold by the Planetary Fortress there on the top right side, and that's going to allow him to finally have an anchor for that position and be able to pivot some of his Cyclones into the center, all the way down here on the south, and clean up the rest of those Roaches. And for what it's worth, Cyril getting a lot of damage done with those Roaches. It's more than you would expect given the compositions, but you can see it came at a cost. 3,000 more resources lost here for Cyril. Worker count still even, base is still even. And even though on paper, economically, you know, it is a deadlock. It is 80 drones to 82 SCVs. That almost always favors the Terran. Zerg wants to be ahead on bases because the cost efficiency for a Terran complex is just through the roof. So Clem takes game number 1 with a super greedy 3cc opening into Battle Mech, and that just looked nasty.
That was crazy. That was not, I mean, man, when that second and third factory got thrown down after 3 command centers, I just was not expecting a game like that. That was very impressive.
I honestly think that if it wasn't for the Banshee addition to the Battle Mech composition, Cyril would have gotten a lot more done, because he was starting to gain some ground, at least there on the bottom left side, where he was able to, like, you know, push the Cyclones and the Hellions into a corner, get on top of some of the SCVs. But just having, like, what was it, 5 or 6 Banshees at that point in the game, just constantly shelling your Roaches, it's a war of attrition that Zerg is never going to win.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's hard when you have Roaches versus Cyclones like that to really ever trade favorably. It seems like a lot of times that kind of whittles the Zerg down over time. But yeah, the tech switch at the end there, I think, was really what did it.
Yeah, honestly, though, Fear and Faith probably going to be the hardest map for Cyril, I think, this entire best of 5. I was a little bit surprised this one came out here in game number 1, but it should get a little bit easier here for Cyril moving forward. At least I would hope so, because, again, we've seen it in ZVP, we've seen it in ZVT. Trying to take a 5th base on that map is a nightmare for Zerg. It's why Zergs usually go for all-ins or some kind of very aggressive play. And, you know, Clem, he kind of played into that perfectly. He's like, oh, well, Cyril, he's going to be able to 4-base, he won't be able to do much more than that. Let's just fight him with Battle Mech, and that was a clean game 1 win.
Nicely done. This is a best of 5, so we've got plenty more games ahead here. But right now, you know, Cyril, who I think most would agree is the strongest player in this tournament, is down 1 game here to Clem.
Yeah, Clem with a really cool opening there in game number 1. And I'm just wondering what he's going to go to here in game number 2 and game number 3, because I imagine we're going to have kind of like a 50-50 split between going for these CC first openings and going for some kind of barracks opening, because you don't want to risk things too much, just constantly going for the CC first. We have seen players like Shin, like Solar, who aren't afraid of going for these early pushes. And I know Cyril's not afraid of it either. So Clem here in game number 2, going to be going for that mix-up, playing a little bit more safe. It's a Rax first opening.
Yeah, so a very different flavor game coming from Clem here. We don't really know what Cyril's going to be doing yet. We're going to need a little bit more time for the game to develop to see what he's got in store for us. But yeah, interesting. Again, you know, with the command center cost change, it's so massively impactful. Pretty cool to see that 3cc into mech game for that. I'm curious. You know, with one thing about Terran versus Zerg is that mech's always there, but the question is, like, how often is it actually the go-to? Right? Like, I feel like there's been periods where we're even in tournaments where it's like more than 50%. In the history of StarCraft 2, there's been iterations of the game where it's like, this is more common. And then there's periods where it's super rare.
Yeah, and I think Fear and Faith is just kind of the perfect map for it. It makes sense to go into that composition there on that map because, you know, there's all these different paths that Cyril also needs to spread his creep down. Yeah. It's like 3 or 4 different avenues, and that takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of queen energy. Plus, again, it's hard to take that 5th base. So as Terran, you just want to keep fighting. You want to keep in their base. You want to keep map control. And Battle Mech is one of those compositions that is just really good at constantly trading, even with something like Roachling or Burrowed Roaches we saw there from Cyril. But I don't think we're going to see another Battle Mech game from Clem here, at least not on Voidstorm. I think it's much more likely to be, you know, your typical standard macro TVZ play with a bio composition. But I am curious how much more we're going to see Battle Mech or mech in general from Clem. I mean, we even had a game where Bjorn went mech yesterday, which is kind of unheard of.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. Yeah, I guess we're going to see, you know, what is the go-to. He did get a drone kill there, right?
Yeah, that was perfect.
So used to nothing happening when the Reaper comes out. That was kind of crazy. So Cyril down, 1 drone here. Yeah, look at that.
Even with the slightly slower Reaper build time, Clem's still able to make that magic happen. Gets an early drone.
Yeah, just going to try to take out that creep tumor. Doesn't quite damage it down enough. And yeah, I mean, this is going to be basically like a 1-1-1 tech with an expand behind it.
Yeah, taking all the way up into the starport already. No 3rd command center here for Clem just yet. Cyril finally drops that 3rd hatchery and was able to get that drone over there without the Reaper actually spotting it. And now setting up, ooh, a nice little block there.
Oh, what are you crazy, Clem? Clem,
what are you doing?
Clem, you're mad. What is happening?
Oh, it
Clem.
can't go. It can't jump back down. Clem was shaking his head. It could not jump back down, I think.
Yeah, no. Clem looked super irritated by that. So the Reaper got vertigo?
It's got a fear of Heist, man. It can go up. It can't go back down. Is that a quirk here on Voidstorm that you can get into the main base, but you can't get back down? I actually haven't seen it. I mean, Clem.
At first, I thought he was like trying to style on him.
Yeah.
But no, 100% he couldn't get it down. I wonder what that is.
Well, I noticed earlier when he killed the drone, it looked like he was pathing the Reaper to try and get out of main base on that side, but it juked back into the Lings and almost fell because of it. And now Clem again at the same spot was trying to get the Reaper out. I think it literally just could not path down that ledge. Huh.
Okay, so, you know, from here, it's going to be the Banshee tech here for Terran. So it's going to be bio into Banshee. We'll see if the Banshees can get much damage done.
Hellions exerting a little bit of map control right now, trying to keep the creep spread as contained as possible. The Cyril gets in with 1 Ling and sees basically everything. And I think the barracks timing here on the front, you know, Cyril's a very smart player. He should be able to see this and know that it's not a 3cc opening, and that means that Clem likely wants to get a lot of damage done with this. You know, the 3rd command center, it's cheaper than it used to be, so the fact that you're foregoing that for these faster barracks on the back of a 1-1-1, it signals that it's going to be a much more aggressive game, and against that kind of aggressive playstyle, counterattacks like this can be excellent here for Cyril. You can see Clem just spam right-clicking onto the mineral pad to try and stack all those SCVs up to get more damage, but these Lings get a lot of SCVs, and now they got to surround here on the Hellions. The Hellions are cornered. I think the Hellions will get cleaned up at the cost of basically all of the Lings, but some pretty effective trades here for Cyril.
Yeah, I mean, this is going pretty well for Cyril, even interrupting a little bit of mining time there. Definitely worth it. Too bad he wasn't able to keep the Hellions maybe in a position where he could have wrapped around the mineral patches. Hellions, I mean, once they get surrounded, their value drops off pretty fast in a fight.
It's not really able to stack up the splash damage in a situation like that one. And so Cyril, again, with that first Ling scout, he knows that it's not a 3cc opening, and then with the follow-up aggression with the Lings, He's able to get the Hellion number under control. Usually the Hellions, they work in tandem with the Banshees to try and get damage done. Queens kind of need to respond to both of those units, so the threat of Hellions running into the third base or running into the natural expansion and the threat of Banshees going into any mineral line, they pair very well together, and it can be so taxing for a Zerg player to try and deal with it. So the fact that Cyril was able to clean up the Hellions, it simplifies the defense so much now.
Okay, the Banshees now, we need to see what targets they can actually get. Like, are there any, whether it's creep tumors or drones or something. The Spores are already preemptively set up to kind of deny this. But it's pretty hard for the Zerg to not lose any drones. I mean, you know, it's hard to cover that whole area, and obviously 2 Banshees, 1 shot a drone.
Yeah, it's kind of like an Oracle opening in PvZ. You're expecting it to like get 2 or 3 drones. It's kind of just the damage that's going to be inevitable if you're going to be trading hit points on the unit for, you know, a couple of shots there on the worker line. But I think Cyril will be happy with only losing 3 drones, especially considering he's all the way up to 71 now to the 48 SCVs of Clem, whose 3rd command center is just about to finish. But this is not, again, the same greedy play that we saw from Clem there in game number 1. I feel like he kind of needs to get damage done with his first move out.
Yeah, he's moving out now, and he's going to be going for this 4th base that's close to the lower center of the map. There is a base being taken in the upper right. I don't think Clem has vision of that yet. Although that's not too important for now. First, we need to see what... Yeah, he doesn't see it. So we need to see, can he actually get in here and make this work? And he's going to have... Wait, what is going... Oh, there's a tank in there. Okay. I thought he was going to do a tank drop in the main. I was like, what? Okay, so he's going to hit the hatchery. I don't know if Clem can... Or Cyril can save this in time.
Yeah, and Cyril's not even going to try. It allows the hatch to fall, and I think it's a pretty wise decision here for Cyril. You know, he's got the full 3-base saturation. He's actually getting a pretty good counterattack over here at the 3rd base. Unfortunately, with the medevac, that means those leagues will never be able to confirm the kills onto the Marines.
Dude,
so
Clem is so good right now.
Yeah.
This is actually crazy that he just did that versus Cyril. He pushed out, hit the hatchery so fast that Cyril didn't even have time to react. And I think Cyril had the right move by just ditching it. I think a weaker player would have tried to fight anyways and ended up losing the fight, possibly the whole game. But Cyril is up against the ropes.
Yeah, Clem needed to get damage done, and he did with the denial there of the 4th expansion. But Cyril does have that hatchery finishing up on the top right side of the map, so that's going to be the next focal point. Can Clem actually push into this position? Oh, the fungal comes in here from the top rope with 3 infestors. Siege Tank's trying to focus them down. We'll be able to get 2 of the infestors, and with the Ling numbers dissipating, it looks like Clem has a lot more firepower left to push into this base.
Oh my god, I think this game could be close to over. I mean, we're in the course of 2 minutes, we've had 2 expansions go down. And, you know, Clem hasn't really taken that much damage. The counterattack, I think this is a great idea. We'll see how much it can actually get done. He is going to keep some of those Lings around, so they could probably go back in again. But right now, it's 3-base to 3-base. Cyril is trying to remake his 4th and recover. And Clem is going to cut through and try to clean up this creep, making another inevitable push probably that much stronger.
Yeah, and this isn't the kind of game that Cyril wanted to play. He went into Hive Tech very quickly, and I kind of feel like the game plan was likely to go into Ultras fast, but Clem has just given him no breathing room. And Cyril is trying to make the defense work with just upgraded Lings. Adrenal's about halfway done, plus 3 Carapace is coming in, plus 2 melee attack just started as well. I'll hold that thought, actually. Infestors come in once more. Oh, the Siege Tank focus fire. They're able to get most of those Infestors. Only 1 fungal gonna pop, and it's a fantastic fungal, but there's nothing to add on the damage. And again, this goes back to the 4th base going down here in the bottom left, and the extra expansion in the top right also getting taken out. There simply isn't enough larva for Cyril to really produce a lot of these units. With some injects popping, 36 more Lings are in production, but the momentum is fully behind Clem.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is going to be really tough to hold. This is not a comfortable angle for Zerg to try to lash out at and take this push out. You know, the hatchery's at about half health. I like the surround. He comes in here from behind. He does not end up targeting the tank, so the tank's going to get a couple more shelling shots off.
Marine's going to lift back up into these medevacs. Their numbers did dissipate quite a bit. Cyril did a very good job getting on top of them with this Ling count.
I don't know, man. Cyril is in a bad spot. He is going to try to intercept this, or he was. I saw some units moving up above this, but he doesn't end up going for it. He treats it as a counterattack. So the reinforcements we're seeing come on screen right now, those were not stopped. We have a counterattack. That's what I thought was going to be intercepting that coming down here. Now the counterattack, you know, sometimes there are games where you see people counterattack too much, and they're never able to actually deal with a push, and this could be one of those games.
Was a very good fungal there by Cyril, though. I mean, the bio is getting cleaned up here on the front line. There isn't yet an answer for these Liberators in the air. The Queens just simply cannot connect with them. But Sero's doing a very good job of starting to stabilize, and I think these counterattacks, they're finally starting to pay off a little bit. Up until this point, Sero really hasn't been able to find the damage, but now
What is up, everybody? We're back here for the last day in the studio of RSL Season 6. I'm Tasteless. Joined with me is Sturgeon. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, it's kind of bittersweet. You know, we've had the studio for so long. We've had such great times here, but we will be moving on.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to keep the adventure going, but I'll also miss this place.
Yeah. It's cool, the little space we built out here. I love how this set looked here. We don't know if this background's going to survive the move, but we will be moving to a new studio. And we'll be, I don't know when season 7 is going to start. But yeah, this is our last day here because the finals of season 6 is going to be at BlizzCon.
And there it is. There's the schedule. You can see we're on the last day of the season, the 9th of August. Whoever makes it, out of the tournament today will go on to play Serral at BlizzCon on the big stage, cast by Tastosis. That's going to be September 13th. There's a bit of time to, just allow for if players need to get visas, anything like that. And then we will crown the Season 6 champion.
Yeah. It's been an incredible run here. Really great tournament. I feel like we really found our rhythm with this. Shout-outs to Blizzard for being cool with the idea of having RSL there. Artosis and I are going to be doing the Tasteless vs. Artosis Classic Cup match, and I kind of said, well, we're already there. Like, you've got the stage and everything, and we already have this tournament. Can we try doing it? And they were open to it. So we really appreciate them supporting our cause over here. Now, when we do BlizzCon, we're not done for the year. Every year for RSL, we do the offline finals. So last year we did it in Gangnam. Made sense. We're all based here in Korea, and it went really well. So this year we're taking it international. We're going to be in London. It's going to be on November 21st to 22nd. We have not announced the venue yet, and we have not started selling tickets yet, but there will be more announcements on that. You can join the Patreon or follow us on Twitter to keep up to date with that info, but we're super excited. And, it was so great meeting you guys in person when we did the Gangnam event, to see the faces, the people behind, the Patreon that were supporting us. We would love to meet, whether it's the same people or new people, because this destination might be more convenient for you. We would love to see you there.
Yep, we'd also love to see you on the Patreon, and we'd like to thank everyone who's signed up so far. Because of your support, we're able to do cool things like have this London event, have the Gangnam offline event. If you do sign up, there's a free tier where you can just get info about our tournaments. You can also get the replays, vote on the maps. We'll have new maps next season. You can have your say on what maps those will be. And we'll be voting in some more players as well.
Yes. Shout outs to Archon Studio. We love these guys. They've been so supportive of the RSL. And what's even more incredible is that their products are so true to like the StarCraft universe, right? I love the kind of gritty, kind of realistic, but kind of also dark and kind of grim universe of StarCraft. And I think that the tabletop figures that they made are perfect. They completely match the universe that I know of StarCraft. And so we're so grateful to have them. Definitely check out their tabletop miniatures game for StarCraft. They've got a ton of other great franchises that represent as well. So check them out.
Yeah, they really captured the essence of all the units there. We've also got a bunch of merch and swag over at tastersthreads.com. If you're a Patreon supporter, you get a 20% discount. There's hoodies as summer not comes to an end, but will be in the near future. We'll be going into autumn. You got your t-shirts, mugs, pins, badges, all that good stuff. Lots of gaming-related merch for you as a StarCraft fan. Yeah,
we need you guys to join the YouTube as well. It's funny. It's like, so our live viewership's been crazy good. Like, for instance, today we're not even on the front page of Twitch. We weren't yesterday. But our viewership on both Twitch and YouTube are crazy good. What we're not yet hitting is people watching the VODs.
Right.
That number's much lower. So we're very happy with the live viewership, but the reality is for a lot of people, especially English speakers, we're like not in the most convenient time zone. And I don't know, the only solution we have for this is to get as many of you guys, even if you only watch live, to subscribe to the YouTube, because the algorithm will find people that are like you, and then we can get this thing to continue to grow.
Yep, here is our schedule. The story so far in Season 6. Yesterday we saw Hero bow out to Shin. Clem was eliminated by Solar, and then Serral beat Rogue 4-3 in the winners finals, so he is the first player confirmed at BlizzCon. Today we'll find out who will be the second one. We have Shin versus Solar, and then the winner of that will go on to play Rogue in another ZVZ, and whoever wins that one will be going to BlizzCon.
Yes. So we already have Serral, confirmed here for BlizzCon. He did make it. He had, the perfect run, basically. Although I got to say, Serral Rogue was insane. Man.
Oh, that series. If you haven't watched that series, go watch it. 2 of the games were like, the first game, I was like, this is the craziest ZVZ I've ever seen. And then the other crazy one happened. And I'm like, no, now this is the craziest one I've ever seen. Yeah,
it was nuts. It's going to be hard to top, honestly.
Yeah.
So the loser is out of the RSL. The winner will go up against Rogue, and they will be fighting to see who will get to be on that stage at BlizzCon. So we're going to start this out here on Eternity's Edge. Guys, let's get into this best of 5 here for the final day in the RSL studio. Let's go.
We are loaded into the first game of this best of 5. It's going to be Solar in the top left, Shin in the bottom right. And just to kind of give an overview of these players, I feel like Solar's been around for a very long time. Very good in this matchup specifically, kind of an old guard, or there is a temple on the way from Shin. We'll be seeing those links come out shortly, but Shin is kind of not a newer player, but someone who's risen to the top in more recent times and really found his form and his highest skill peak in recent years. So I would say, overall, I'd probably give Shin the edge here. Even though I think Solar might be historically a better ZVZ specialist, I think Shin's just hit a really high peak recently.
Yeah, I mean, Shin's looked better and better. It's interesting. You've got, I think, the guys that everybody always thinks of. Like, let's take the Koreans, right? You always think of Maru.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's like, if you had to name it, if you had to pointing the gun at somebody who likes StarCraft, okay, name 3 players. They're going to name Maru, right?
Yeah.
And those guys, they take a lot of the oxygen out of the room, but right below them are players like Shin, right? Or like, as example, like Shin was kind of in Rogue's shadow for a long time, back when he was, under the ID Ragnarok. But, people are not going to stop playing StarCraft. This game's going to be around forever. I'm always curious, is there going to be a moment where we're going to see that flip and Shin come out on top? And Solar's kind of right there with him, too. Kind of in the number 2 spot for Zergs.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. Right now, we do see that temple. The Lings moving across the map. Shin will be expanding behind it. It's not a super committed all-in. The ideal situation is you trade out these Lings for a bunch of drones. You end up ahead in the work account, and then you go into your macro game from there. Solar did go for a pool first, not a hatch first, which makes it slightly easier to defend. You probably do have to drag some drones, but the Lings went around the first Overlord, so Solar will just be finding out about this now.
Yeah, this is rough. It's very, very hard to save the hatchery. You basically have a choice. Do you cancel? Do you run down? He's try to save it, and I assume he's just going to cancel the last second. There's no way.
Yeah, opting to not pull the drones and try to save this.
Yeah, we've seen games where people do pull the drones. This is a kind of a different approach. You basically run the clock by letting the hatchery take damage and then circle back around and try to defend on one base. So when you're watching these fights, we're always looking at Lings, but you want to also be counting drones. How many drones are going to be killed? How many drones are going to be made in the process?
Yeah, indeed. The Lings now trying to get a good trade here, just running around. The Queen adds a lot of firepower here and tanking ability. So I think the aggression is basically over for Shin. The win that he got here is that he forced the council and he has to remake the hatchery. And the thing that made this difficult to defend for Solar is that the Lings did run around the first Overlord. So Solar already spent his lava on those drones. He went up to 19. Whereas if you see it with the first Overlord, you can start making Lings right away. And you have those Lings out, you can pull the drones. But in this case, he sees it later, so he says, okay, I'll cancel my hatchery for now, defend my one base, and then re-expand once I have my first Queen and first bunch of Lings out.
Yeah. So Solar at 18 drones, Shin on 23. You could say that this did basically succeed, like what he opened up with, put him in the position where he wants to play. You know, not all of these rushes are intended to smash them immediately. A lot of times they're meant to kind of hiccup the opponent and put them somewhere where you're going to have a much smoother early game and mid game. So we saw an Evo chamber. I'm sorry, was it Solar got the Evo chamber, right?
Yeah, Solar's getting the carapace. And that's the big advantage that he has as the defender. His gas was already made, so he could start collecting that earlier. Shin gonna start gasless here, but eventually add one on and go straight into the roaches. Probably try to skip the Ling phase of the game. There's a lot of Lings out already for Solar, though.
Yeah, he's going to be coming forward now. Roach Warren is going to be here at the entrance. He's basically going to go try to plug up this part in the front. Now, you know, the later you start those Evo chambers, the more it's possible to kind of snowball the damage at the entrance.
Yeah, he's actually going to focus this build at the front. It doesn't get cancelled, actually dies. The Lings can get past the Queens. Going to decide to fight them instead, forcing the drones to be pulled.
You know, honestly, that was not bad by Shin at all. You know, I think a lot of times you think of the perfect defense, like nothing could get in there, but the fact that he killed off a bunch of Lings and basically just forced an Evo to cancel, that actually was, like, pretty perfect.
Yeah, indeed. This is an interesting situation we find in. Shin still has the worker lead just. Their layer timings are identical. But Solar is going to have that upgrade. The carapace upgrade can be really good if you fight Lings versus Lings, but Shin's going to bypass that and go straight into the roaches here, so not sure how much of an impact it will have as he takes the third base a little bit quicker here.
Yeah, Ling speed, you know, is starting right now for Shin. And that armor upgrade's about to be done. So, you know, Shin, he's got a choice right now. Oh, did that, wait, what?
Oh, he full walled.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow, that's like a pretty big brain fart to have happen.
Yeah, he's going to have to kill this with his army.
You can see the Queens don't really kill it that fast either. So he's basically, he's become entombed in his base while his opponent's taking the third base. So this is like really bad.
Yeah, that's not ideal. And I thought he would skip Lings, but he is actually getting Ling speed going into +1 melee. But I mean, there's already the carapace upgrade out for Solar. He's going to go Spire behind this as well. So maybe Roach Muta here versus the Roaches on 3 base for Solar. And that's actually not going to get killed, as I think there's an Overseer coming in that the Queens need to deal with first. So yeah, Shin still can't leave his base right now. But he's making mutas as well. Okay, finally he goes down.
Yeah, so he's going to be out on the map here. Now, you know, the longer a 3-base player versus a 2-base player, generally the better it's going to be, right? So the only way for Shin to make this work is he has to have some kind of spike in tech that creates an opportunity. That's going to be with the Spire. Now, what Solar can do to try to elongate his position, lasting in this position, I should say, on 3 bases, would be to maybe rely on counterattacks. We'll see if he's going to do that as well.
Yeah, Shin going fully into mutas and Lings here. Probably not going to make any roaches with that melee upgrade on the way. Needs to take his own third base. We see it going down now, but it's very far behind Solar's. I'm not sure if that Overseer actually got in and saw the Spire of Shin. Did Solar see that? I'm not sure. He did not see that, so he may not know exactly what's happening. He'll see all these Lings, though, and that can be a tell in and of itself. Like, where is your gas going, you know? But that is a lot of Lings here from Shin.
Yeah, the Lings are going to come in here. They can isolate the Queen and get the kill here. The next set is going to come right through. It's actually going to run by the Queen and run back out. Now, these are speed Lings versus, well, now the blue Lings get speed, excuse me. So he's going to continue to chase him around. Shin's going to be taking his own base right now. And from here, Solar can set up the Hydra Tech. And this, you know, unless Shin can start to counterattack, it's probably going to be a Hydra Tech push.
Yeah, they will be able to fight the mutas, so he's caught on to what is happening here. But so many units knocking on the door of Shin right now. Even though the mutas are out and uncontested, there's a lot of DPS on the ground for Solar, trying to bust through into this natural, kill the Queens. You'd love to get on the work line, get some damage done, and here he goes. The drones trying to be saved, as many as possible, but they are starting to fall here.
Yeah, and you know, this is going to be a lot of drone kills. It's going to be a pretty big economic hit. Right now it's 51 workers to 34. We have a lot more drones hatching up here. Of course, the mutas are going to have to stay back and defend. And this should be a pretty good layup for Solar. I mean, I think the next push is going to be really hard to make work. I mean, there's kind of a catch-22 that happens here where Shin, he has to make drones because otherwise he's not viable economically. But then by the time he's made all those drones, he doesn't have an army to actually defend with. So, I mean, this is a very winning position here for Solar.
Yeah, indeed. Shin will have the map control for now, though. Be able to clear off all of these overlords from the map and drone up himself behind it. But like you say, he's playing catch-up at this point. He's 10 drones behind. The infestation pit is already on the way, almost finished. The Hydra Den is already done, so he's going to go into that Hydra, Roach, Infester. The Infester is so key for fungling those Banelings, stopping them getting the connections on the Hydralisks here. The Queen count is very good. That's going to be your anchor point against these Mutalisks here.
Yeah. So we've got 6 Infestors coming here. Air weapons, by the way, about to be done. 6 Infestors is actually more than I thought he would make.
Yeah, that's a lot to make at once. That's a lot of gas.
Yeah, that's... okay, well, all right, 6 Infestors it is. That's going to give him a lot of opportunities to try to get fungals off here. And no one's on a 4th base yet. We've got the worker count, by the way, caught up now for Shin. The problem is like we said earlier, it's the army count now that's going to be bad. Shin takes his 4th base, and we know, there's going to be a point where Solar's going to have enough Hydras that he's going to pull the trigger.
Yeah, once he starts to get to a near maxed out army, can be very difficult for the Lingbane Muta player to actually take a good fight, but he has the mobility, he can still counterattack, he can harass. He has the quicker 4th base as he has the map control for the moment. There's one changeling, going to get into the main, get a scout on if he's going Hive or not. That's a very big key moment when that non-Muta player decides to go for the Hive, if they want to go for Vipers, anything like that. It's always an option that you have to be on the lookout for.
Okay. Well, he hasn't decided to move out yet. He wants to continue to try to accumulate those Hydras. Shin is now going to bolster his ground army by having some Roaches. And he needs these to basically tank, because, we saw in, like, for instance, the earlier fights, the Lings basically spill in, and then, what's the next target? It's Queens and drones, right? And that's when you're really starting to herd.
Yeah, and Shin's actually going back into Roaches here. He's not going to... He's kind of mind gaming me twice in this set already.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to commit to the Mutas because he got the melee upgrade. But he is actually going back into Roaches here. So he's going to try and force an overcommitment in anti-air.
Well, Shin's got an extra base, so I think what he's trying to do is just counter the push. And then if he counters that, he's up a base, and the game simplifies a lot, right? Then it's going to be his turn to make sure Zerg doesn't get a 4th of his own.
Yeah, indeed. If you make, put so many resources into countering Mutas, getting the tech out for that, you might not have as big an army on the ground, but Solar decides it's time. He is moving out on the map right now.
Yeah, he's on the go. Now he's got those 6 Infestors ready to go. Nice counterattack coming over here to hit the 4th base.
Good fungals on these Roaches to start the engagement. Yeah,
he's already starting to chip away. This angle kind of sucks for Solar. And by the way, it's kind of crazy. The counterattack, I think, is actually going to kill the hatch. Does he save it?
He's going to have to try, but these fungals are huge right now. Just endless fungals right now. Roaches have a lot of HP, but over time, he's starting to whittle down this big ball of Roach Ravager here. But eventually, the fungals may run out. The Mutas come over as well. There's not enough anti-air to actually deal with those, I don't think. Unless he has another fungal left in the bank. Okay, no, he will actually deal with those, but so much Roach Ravager here left for Shin.
It looks like the whole plan by Solar basically backfired. The counterpunch now is going to basically take out 9 o'clock. I mean, he's just going to organically end up right where this finished hatch is as this engagement continues on. The Infestors are going to kind of duck away behind that bush. But yeah, now this 3rd base goes down. I'm sorry. Did that hatchery actually get killed, or is it being remade on the? Okay, it did get killed. It just got killed.
Then.
Okay, because I was about to say, if it looked like that hatchery was super low earlier.
Yeah.
But a 1 hit point hatchery is as good as a full hit point hatchery. You can still return minerals. It still makes larvae, right? Okay, so they're both on 3 bases right now.
Yeah, well, Solar did just take the 9 o'clock, right? But it did just survive. He's transfusing that up. There's still Mutalisks on the field. Enough Hydras and Infestors to deal with those 4 now. And both of them getting their +2 upgrades. It's so weird. If you just looked at the production tab right now, you wouldn't have guessed how this game had gone or how it started.
Yeah.
It looks like they're just playing a Roach macro game. But yeah, Shin went for Mutas. Now he's transitioned back into Roaches. And the work count's even. The supplies are pretty even. They're both maxed out now. Yeah, we've reached like equality somehow through different routes.
Yeah, and Shin's just going to try to shove in here. This angle is horrendous. I mean, this is so much better surface area for Solar. He's not even really being hurt by the hatchery here. The question is, does Shin have enough to basically shatter the position? And, you know, he might. Yeah, I think he's just got enough.
It's very close. So the Infestors don't seem to be adding much to this fight. Just the one fungal. The trade starting to go a little bit better for Solar here with the defender's advantage. The Mutas come over. They don't do much anymore. And this is on a knife's edge, but I think Solar might just be holding here.
Yeah, Solar's got it. Solar's got it. Dude, what a back and forth game one this is. This is kind of crazy. I don't know if Solar can go all the way across the map and hit the hatchery. I think he might just not have enough. And we're going to have a gold base taken here. Sorry, who's taking the gold base? Okay, sorry, it's Solar. Great play-by-play at the end. I'm like, and somebody's taking a gold base.
It's a mystery who, but someone's getting it. Yeah, I think Solar's done well there, defended his fourth whilst killing the fourth of Shin. If we were to look at the income graph, I'm sure it would be heavily in his favor over the last couple minutes. And there we go. We do see that blue line. He's had a lot of extra income in recent times, and now he's going to be the aggressor here, moving into this third base of Shin. He still has some fungals left. The Infestors have been preserved as the engagement begins.
Okay, Solar seems to be making this work. There is just not quite enough for Shin. The fungals, they're really starting to accumulate that damage, and that's going to be it. Game one goes to Solar. GG.
Wow, what a wild game. Started with the temple, then it ended up Shin trapped in his base.
Yeah.
So he goes mutas, he gets out, he gets to 4 bases, he transitions back into roaches. He has like a push that looks really strong. Solar just defends, then he goes for that big counterattack.
Yeah, I love that game. That was very back and forth.
Yeah.
So Solar takes a 1-0 lead. It's a best of 5. Remember, the loser is out. There's almost no one left here in the RSL. The winner is going to go on to face off against Rogue.
And that is a scary next opponent for any Zerg.
Rogue is, it really does feel like he's getting closer and closer to being in that perfect form. Like,
I mean, he took Serral to game 7, right? And
yeah.
He outplayed him in the late game, even though he greeded a bit to get there. He looked so good at all stages of the game.
Yeah, and you know, when it comes to Serral, one of the things I think he's the strongest at is a longer game.
Yeah.
Right? He's kind of the Zerg's Zerg, right? Like he's the guy that's going to kind of survey and react and cut just enough corners that he's always ahead. But yeah, it was super close. So these two guys are making great games so far. It's going to be a tough match for whoever moves on. And we are ready now to go into game 2. So we're going to go to Old Sun Temple here as this series continues on. With that zoom out of the map, I never noticed how clean the water is on the Old Sun Temple. You should go back if you're watching that video. That's a perfectly clean water.
You could drink out of that.
Yeah, I could see my reflection in the water from all the way up there. All right, so we are going to go into game 2 now. We'll see if anybody goes for a super fast pool and what exactly these guys want to do. Remember, Rogue is also watching. You know, this is another... Whenever you have like a bracket that is so far resulted the way that ours has, where it's like it's only Zergs left, it's inherently like a pretty big disadvantage to be climbing through the lower bracket, right? Because every game you're basically revealing your take on the matchup, what build orders you like, and you know it's an elimination match, right? You don't really have a whole lot of room to like bring out builds that you can't use later on, right? So this is tough because, yeah, I mean, Serral can see these builds right now. Rogue can see these builds.
Yeah, you don't really have much room to hide anything, as you said.
Right.
I'm sure Rogue's looking at this like, okay, on this map, maybe he's going to do that, or he's favoring this style recently. This is a big map, but it's the closest spawns, the horizontal spawns here, so that actually kind of makes it a small map in a way, you know?
Right.
You end up with a shorter rush distance here, and the bases are quite close together.
Yeah. So, I mean, for Shin in this case, he's going to have a little bit of an edge just with the scouting. He sees his opponent immediately. So we'll see if it's an expand here. Just because it's rotationally symmetric, Shin can't still see what's going on. I don't know if there's going to be any kind of reaction that Shin can have to this based off this. Or I guess not, because they're literally doing the same thing, excuse me.
Yeah, both these guys are going to hatch first into the pool and the gas in the pool. The Overlord going to make its way all the way into the main of Solar, whereas Solar's Overlord is just going to check the natural. Would actually have time to get into the main. I don't understand why Solar's is so much slower than Shin's. I think he went slightly more towards the center of the map or something. With a bit of a different route to get here, but eventually both these guys will get the info, exactly what's happening, what the build is. They'll see a couple drones coming out here, so they'll know it's no crazy early cheese or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, in a game like this, we're basically just looking at the production tab, right? We need to see, like, okay, who's gonna deviate first, and what are they gonna do?
Overlords are such a funny unit, man.
Almost a mid-air collision. That was close.
Imagine if they blew up if they hit each other.
Yeah,
like blimps
like
or something.
slow-motion banelings.
Like hydrogen blimps.
Yeah. Like zeppelins, they just burst into flames.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, we got to wait and see who's going to make the first move. It's going to be a third base here for Solar, and I think, Shin is going to match that. And so right now we're kind of in this phase of the game where both sides are basically powering. The Baneling's Nest is never necessarily a nod to aggression. You do need Banelings to basically defend against their Banelings, right? So they're basically, for now, just ticking all the boxes of ZVZ development.
Yeah, if you take a third base and your opponent all-ins you with Ling Bane, you basically can't hold it without Banes of your own. So if you take that third early on like this, you basically need to get a Baneling Nest behind it, whereas if you go for a two-base build, you can kind of skip it, try to go straight into the roaches or something like that.
So Shin is making more Lings. He's got 8 Lings coming. Now, 8 Lings is not like an attack amount, right? That might just be him being slightly more conservative and basically filling in, like ticking the defense box here. You're going to have enough Lings to make some Banes and do everything else like that. And the Roach Warren has been thrown down here for Shin first.
Yeah, we also have an Evo out for Solar. He's going to go for the Carapace upgrade. A lot of Zergs favoring this in the matchup at the moment after it became cheaper in the most recent patch. Great Scout here actually sees the Roach Warren at the back of Shin as well as the extra gas. It's only the second gas though. You might think it's the third gas, but it's the second gas down at the natural there. So good Scout there. He's going to come back in once again, try to get a follow-up Scout, but this time he's denied.
Yeah, so there's an Evo being thrown down here for Shin. He will be behind in the upgrade game. We're going to see if Solar can try to take advantage of that armor upgrade. It's about 25% complete right now.
Yeah, wow. Solar really wants to get a Scout into the main, but continuously denied here by Shin. Very good awareness by him. He's going to be going for the missile upgrade first, and Roach production has already begun here for Solar. Shin follows in suit. Shin is sitting on a few more drones. So his eco is slightly better, but his units will be out slightly earlier here.
You're engaging the opponent.
Yeah, so the Overlords are going to be driven out right now. Missile attack is a very different upgrade to be using here. So Solar's going to have kind of more of a fix-all here with the armor upgrade. There's a lot of different ways to make that work, where I think Shin will be committed to Roach, probably inevitably Hydra or Roach Ravager here.
Yeah, I think in the Roach versus Roach wars, getting that missile upgrade can be absolutely huge if your opponent does not have it.
Yeah.
The Carapace does something to offset it, but I think you'd rather have the missile if you had the choice.
I think the missiles, I mean, for range versus range, I think it's basically better
right.
for the comps they have. So we've got the Ravager started here, 16 more Lings on the way.
Oh.
And these kind of pushes, usually what you have is you have this like damage generator with the Roach Ravager, and then you make Lings behind it, and the Lings are there to tank. And the Lings, they can reinforce so fast that you kind of have this trickle of Lings constantly going through. And the idea is that the Roach Ravager basically chews through the defenses, eventually gets to a hatchery or drones, and then that's the breaking point. So let's see if it works.
Yeah, I mean, Solar's completely all in here. Only on 41 drones, no layer in sight. He's trying to make this happen right here, right now. Some Lings come from the back, but they get dealt with. A lot of Ravagers here, throwing down Biles, forcing this Roach Army to reposition for Shin. It looks like he may just have enough with the defender's advantage. He's kind of on a knife's edge right now. More and more Lings flooding in for Solar. Is he going to be able to close out this game?
Yeah, I mean, he's got basically 2 different fights going on, one at the top, one on the left, and I think he's basically winning both. So he's going to come down here, and we're at the breaking point. As long as enough Lings can come in here and reinforce, the Ravagers are going to finish. He does get a deny on that one. He's doing a great job. Basically, every time a Roach gets low enough, you force a Ravager egg out. And there it is. Yeah, the Lings are going to come through, and now the drones are going to be exposed.
Yeah, units coming out one by one from that hatch, but they die instantly. And Lings versus Lings at the front, Ravagers behind, and Solar, I think he just took his hands off the keyboard there. He knew it was over.
Yeah, great timing there by Shin.
Yeah, Solar just decided, hey, you know what?
Yeah, by Solar.
Yeah, dude, 2 Zergs, both their names start with S. It's confusing. But yeah, Solar was the guy all in there. Went for that big attack. I think that kind of makes sense in the horizontal positions.
You're close together.
You're pretty close together. It's going to hit quick. It's difficult to scout. And yeah, he just takes the game.
Yeah. All right, well, kudos to Solar there. Excellently played. In what so far has been a pretty good series. That one game a little bit more straightforward than some of the other crazier Zerg games we've had. That's like the timing works. You can see, though, if you just are able to perfectly morph the Roaches into Ravagers, you're basically maximizing the amount of damage you're absorbing while still pushing through. And then as long as the Lings can reinforce, I mean, they do a little bit of extra damage, but basically, over time, those Ravager hits accumulate. Yeah. So, guys, this is going to be our first RSL where Protoss doesn't win.
Oh,
and the crowd goes wild. Do we have a button for that? Oh, there they are.
There it is.
There they are.
All 3 of them.
It's a Zerg Civil War here in Season 6. We had Classic, Max Pax, and, of course, Hero taking our previous seasons here. This season, Finals is going to be at BlizzCon. So we're basically going to finish up this best of 5. And then we're going to be in LA and see who's going to take it on stage in Anaheim on the biggest stage of StarCraft 2. We also have our London event at the end of the year. This is the offline finals. We're going to be rebranding stuff. We have had like a pretty incredible run, honestly, here at RSL. And so the fact that Blizzard did accept our proposal to have our stuff on stage was incredible. But then a lot of people decided, oh, that's the offline final. It's like, no. We have this other thing we were going to be doing anyways. We are not announcing the specific venue yet, but we are announcing the dates. So if you want to, if you think you're going to be free, then we'd love to have you. So ticket information and venue information to come here.
Yeah, BlizzCon is just kind of a cheeky bonus, a little bit of extra StarCraft in the year, but the main offline RSL event will be in November. We are so excited for that. We're also excited to see more ZVZ as we will be taking a short break, and we'll be back soon.
Confident you're going to get drone kills.
Yeah, especially with just 2 Hellions. You need a minimum of 4 to really be able to stack up the damage if you dive in.
Yeah, otherwise it just takes too many shots on the drones to kill him. So it is going to be just bio, like we've seen before here. The Overlord does see the 3rd command center, so Cyril knows exactly what kind of game this is. No mysteries right now.
Cyril is so good with the scouting over the course of this entire series. Whether it be 1 Ling, whether it be an Overlord scout. It's a little bit expensive losing an Overlord like this, but the information is just absolutely worth it. And so let's watch and see if Cyril does kind of the same development pattern where he goes up to 66 drones, stops there, even though he is trying for a 4th hatchery, just really builds up his production base. Because it's been working for him thus far, and I think that here on Ruby Rock, where it's much harder to secure a 4th and a 5th base than some of these other maps that we've played in this best of 5 series, I think that Cyril's going to need a very formidable army in the mid game if he wants to survive the pressure coming off the Clem.
Okay, so we've got that 3rd base landed. Baneling's Nest about halfway done. Same with Stim. And he's going to go for it. He's going to go for the dive. Gets 2, but trades out a Hellion there. The Banshees are going to come down here as well. And they can actually take out the Queen. Nicely done. The one that actually had the mana, or the energy.
Yeah, I think the front Queen also had the energy for Transfuse, but was just slightly off creep. So a little bit unfortunate there for Cyril. But Cyril, look at this. Ling's able to skirt into the natural expansion here. And yeah, Clem is going to clean this up. I don't think he loses any SCVs.
I actually thought he lost way more Marines than that. I was going to say...
it's only 3.
Yeah, I don't know. There was some kind of something deceptive about the way the fight looked. I thought he lost all the Marines and it was SCVs that were just left over. But
I mean, Cyril definitely got the damage done to kill like 5 Marines there,
Yeah,
but I think
yeah.
it was just so perfectly distributed that
that's a great time to kill Marines because that's right when you're starting the Marine accumulation, right? So if you
Exactly.
take out the Marines, then that means the medevac Marine push that is inevitably going to come is later, so the Zerg gets a much better position. Oh, this is really bad. Oh man.
yeah, it's a bit unfortunate there for Clem. His attention was elsewhere.
Yeah, didn't he? When I was watching his cam, it felt like he didn't react at all. I don't know if it was mishotKeyed or what.
He still might not know. No, it sucks losing Banshees like that. He must have thought he moved them a little bit further away, but nice pick off here for Cyril.
So we've got a small push coming out. Is there no medevac with this? Oh, there is. Okay. But not enough. Not 2. So he's got to be careful because anything that surrounds here, some of these Marines are going to get killed off.
Fast Hive coming in here for Cyril.
He's got the second medevac coming out here with a tank. I don't know. Is Cyril going to have he should have enough to hold this, right?
Certainly feels that way. With 1-1 finishing, there is some potential for Clem to get damage done, but it feels like there's enough Lings and Banelings to at least keep the hatchery alive. Look, it's even a macro hatchery for Cyril. He doesn't want to be in the same position that he was earlier on in the series where you lose the 4th base and suddenly you don't have the larva to actually produce the Ling Baneling that you want to.
Okay, so he started the push over here. He's going to start to chip away. I think it's only 1 tank. Is that correct?
It's 1 tank, but we just had, I think, 2 more medevacs full of Marines join this force. So this is becoming a...
This is a super conservative position here. Oh my god, there's really just nothing to defend right now. So he's going to send the Lings back up. The tank can't really be taken advantage of, but it's hard for Zerg to attack in. He's going to try to set up a flank. The hatch is at half health, so if he's going to try to defend it, he basically has to be right now. He shoos the Terran away, but Terran, if they dive in one more time, yeah, they're going to be able to commit down here. And Cyril, I mean, that was such a masterful hold there. He waited until the last second, allowing the hatchery to tank just enough damage and not lose it, to then come in there and smother that push.
Hit points are a resource. Cyril using all the HP on that hatchery to buy himself some time. Clem will be able to snipe down the 5th hatch over here on the bottom side of the map. Going to come into the main base now, but...
Yeah, the Spore actually makes it impossible to land over there. I love the placement of that. So we're going to have another attack over here. This time it's going to be at 3 o'clock.
Infestors are out, though. Uncle gets 4 Marines. 2 Widow Mines going to be cleaned up right there as well. You know, Clem just continuing to power on these 3 bases. The 4th command center just now finished, but the army supply is actually advantageous right now for Clem. Cyril really needs a lot more units on the field. You know, he went to the Hive Tech, but we don't have Adrenal Glands up just yet. There's no Ultralist Tech coming in. This is pretty concerning, you know? Clem, he's getting some good trades up here on the top side, and Cyril has to fight because the hatchery's so low on HP.
I don't know if this is... Okay, it is, excuse me, just enough to surround that, to drive it back. 6 o'clock, is there is there a hatchery there? Yeah, there is a hatchery actually being built down there. I can see the health...
Lucas, get down!
Lucas!
Don't go in front of the camera!
Our production guy is trying to go in front of the camera.
Anyways, welcome back, everybody. We're going to be continuing on with this series. It's Solar and Shin. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty good match. It's already had a nice couple 2 games here. The first one was very back and forth. The second one, a little bit more straightforward, but yeah, still some very nice games. We've been having some pretty cool ZVZs overall, I would say. Even though we're going to be seeing a lot of those for the rest of the tournament, at least they've been quite entertaining.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I think Rogue and Cyril took it to a whole new level yesterday. I don't think you'll see any ZVZ that could ever top that, but the games have been good so far. The first game was very interesting, some back and forth. Like you say, in game 2, Solo just went for that gut punch, and he makes it work. He's up 2-0 now. He only needs 1 more win to move on to face Rogue.
Yeah, absolutely. Third game coming on up. It's going to be Necropolis for the map. Let's get into it. Was it State yesterday that said they were like, oh my god, it's almost Halloween? Like, that didn't make me think it. I now understand what he was talking about. It's like a very, like, very Halloween-y style music there. What's the Nightmare Before Christmas or whatever?
Yeah,
That's what it made me
it's like a spooky theme.
Yeah.
And it suits the map.
Yeah. It's a very nice intro there, but we're going to be going into our third game here. Shin on the bottom right-hand side with Solar over on the top left, up 2-0 in this match so far. First game was, that was a 10 pool that got thrown out, wasn't it? So
yeah.
I'm curious if we're going to be seeing any other crazy early all-ins or anything. Nothing is happening this game, it looks like, as both players are just droning on up. But if the series does start to prolong, do we start to see a little bit more of those? What's interesting that I think, there is one early pool coming out here before a hatchery, at least from Solar. The thing that I find interesting, though, is that before all this new worker change stuff got thrown in, there was a lot of, I feel like, drone pull all-ins early in ZVZ. It felt like you'd have like a lot of Ling, 12-pull drone pull and stuff like that getting mixed in. I don't think I've seen a single drone pull all-in the new post-patch worker start stuff. It's like totally been eradicated from the meta, I feel like.
Yeah, 10 pool is definitely the new kind of aggressive option. 8 pool is the quickest one you can do, but it feels kind of weak, and I don't feel like you actually have money to make Lings and Spines. Whereas when you started with 12 workers, you had a bit more money coming in, so you could do that kind of cheese that hit harder. I guess that's the reason it's dropped off. I've been just struggling dealing with 10 pools for a while, but yeah, it's interesting how the worker start has affected ZVZ. I feel like it's one of the most affected matchups in the whole game, honestly, for going from 12 to 8 workers, how it changed the early game interactions between when you get your pools and your hatches. Because you used to go hatch first all the time, and it just held everything perfectly if you knew the response. And I think it still does technically. Like, there might be like 1 or 2 all-ins that are difficult to deal with, but yeah, now it's like players are swapping between 16 pool or going for the hatch first, and those seem to be the prevailing builds with 10 pools sprinkled in here and there.
Yeah, for now, though, Solar going for the pool first, but isn't using it for any kind of crazy aggression, more so just making sure he's nice and safe in case that Shin was going for something really aggressive himself, as both these players do like to mix in those early aggressive options, and it does, I guess, just a little bit of the mind games with the early matchup interactions and things like that. But both players will end up in essentially the same position. The Zergling speeds are about the same timing. Baneliness getting thrown down by Shin, though. It looks to me like it's a little bit earlier than a safety Baneliness. Am I wrong there, or...?
I mean, you can get it a little bit earlier if you want to be the aggressor, or you can like take one out of gas if you want to get your third hatch a bit quicker, which is what we see Solar doing. It's not like 100% a tell, but
sure,
it definitely helps to have it a few seconds quicker if you want to be the guy, be in the, pushing across the map, trying to cancel your opponent's third or something like that.
Yeah, both players are going to be going into that, just Solar a little bit later, and then the third base comes down from Shin anyways, but he is making a lot more Lings suddenly, and that's definitely more than just a few safety Lings, it looks like. 12 in the production tab, going to be lining up to when speed is finishing. Looks like Solar's also going to be doing about the same amount as well, and then a Roach Warren is going to follow up from Shin here too. So both players are just making a good amount of Lings, it looks like, to try and maybe test the waters, see if they can find any sort of poking damage, or if they can just make sure they're being nice and safe, as a couple Banelings get morphed in defensively here from Solar as Shin walks across the map with his Lings.
Yeah, that Roach Run is very early, by the way, and it's hidden at the back of the natural. It's not part of making the wall. So this looks like a Ling pressure into a follow-up Roach all-in, if I had to call it right now. As it is, Solar has enough to deal with these Zerglings, but of course, they are the first wave. He's going to try and get this Zergling to get a scout, but it actually dies without seeing the Roach Warren, or if there was a layer or anything like that on the way. And now we see Shin starting that Roach production. He's only on 29 workers here.
Yeah, this is looking very committed from Shin, making sure that he can keep this information away from Solar. You can see Solar trying to get some Zerglings around the map, trying to get some information. One more is going to find its way inside, and we'll see those Roaches pop. That's a great piece of information. He needed that, and he got it basically as early as possible. So now he's going to have the exact amount of time to react to this. What is the reaction going to be? He's getting some Spine Crawlers. The Roach Warren is very late from him, so he needs to make sure he can get as many units as possible.
Yeah, I don't think he can rely on waiting for Roaches to come out here. The army of Shin is just too fast moving across the map. It's going to have to be a Ling Bane Spine defense for the first part at least. That one Balin, ooh, just doesn't go off. But here come the Roaches making their way across now. I think the Spines will finish. He's done a good job trying to buy time here. But the Roaches, I mean, I think the third base is basically forfeit. I think there's no way you can hold that.
Yeah, you can see the drones are already evacuating. Unfortunately, a few Roaches are being morphed over there, so those might just get trapped over on the right-hand side. Look at that. Yeah, he's even just going to cancel them, so making sure that those do not go there, as another one does accidentally get made as well. But yeah, he can't really do anything on this third base, so that's going to just be killed off. He's going to try to defend in the natural, but the army supply of Shin continues to increase, and that hatchery getting killed off is going to also supply block Solar, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, some Banes roll in, but the defense is good with the Queens, and now the Roaches coming out. And Shen is now going to drone behind this. He's, I mean, he was very committed. You had to kill a base with it, but it wasn't 100% all in. He does have an out here, which is that he has a third base back at home, so he can drone that up, try to leverage an eco advantage. Solar still has a couple more workers at the moment, and he has the layer on the way.
Yeah, so a good job from Solar just to delay everything, making sure that it took as long as possible for Shin to actually walk across the map and actually start to threaten anything that he had. So it allowed him to still at least survive on 2 bases. But yeah, it's still going to put Shin in a pretty decent position, of course, with that third base. The layer timing is going to be much faster from Solar, so that's a nice way to try and get some sort of advantage in this situation to at least get ahead on the tech, since Shin's is likely going to be delayed given how aggressive he was. So we'll see if Solar is able to leverage this in any way.
Yeah, the layer now just about to finish for Solar. He's got his Carapace on the way. Probably going to go quickly into Roach speed here, I would imagine, and there it is. And he's also going to throw down a Spire behind this. So it's going to be Roach Muta. And, I mean, Shin's layer is about just over halfway done, so he's not very close to getting an answer to the Mutas here in terms of anti-air. Going to go for the missile attack himself. And I'm just curious, how aggressive does Solar want to be here? Is he going to try and make units and kill the third, or is he going to try and use the Mutas to take map control and then drone behind it? He has a few different ways he can play this, and Shin has no idea that the Spire is on the way right now.
Yeah, he's really blind to that fact. He's not been able to get any sort of scout into the main base. He's got a couple Overlords in position that could potentially go for a deep dive as an Overseer, as one is being morphed right now. And yeah, it's going to be right next to that main base. So this is the information that he needs to be, the way that he can get that information that he does really need. And then he can potentially react in time. He got a large drone count behind this, so he's nice and set up on these 3 bases. And now he will get that information with the Spire being scouted. So now is the reaction that needs to come out from Shin. Is it going to be a lot of Hydras that are coming on in? Of course, he's going to need some Spine Crawlers. So yeah, there's the Hydra Den getting thrown down.
And all these Overlords, this is so menacing. What is going on here? All the Overlords, they're taking a shower.
The
like
Roaches
in the
are
Overlord
taking a
filth.
shower, man.
So, yeah, oh, that's what I meant to say. Yeah, the Roaches are taking an Overlord shower there. Filth.
Absolutely
Just Zerg
filthy
filth.
Zerg things happening on our screens. Some Ling's going to find their way into the main base, try to target down a couple drones. We'll be able to get a few, but not going to do too much else there. But yeah, all the Spore Crawlers getting thrown down, like I was mentioning, that's obviously a necessity against the Mutas. They can do incredible damage, and then the Spore Crawlers, of course, are very good against the Mutas. Just 1 or 2 can dissuade a really large flock since they have such great anti-Muta damage. So making sure to get those on up, so that way he can buy some time, make sure that the Hydras can start to get out as well. Will we see Infestors as well coming at us? And I feel like that's generally also something we like to see from the Zergs when they are playing against such a large Muta count, but I don't know how many Muta Solar's actually going to make.
Yeah, that's always the question. Is he going to, commit to them completely or stop? In this case, we can see that he stopped making them at 6. Shin doesn't know this, of course. He can see how many, are on his screen. He doesn't know what's happening back at home just yet. And it's always kind of the dance. You have to make anti-air to deal with the Mutas, but you don't want to make too much so that your ground army doesn't have as many resources in it. What is this setup we've got going on here? It looks so funny. I feel like they should get extra HP regen when they run through that or something.
That would be
Don't you think so, Gemini?
That would be an interesting tactic that I would not like to explore.
Imagine that, the Overlord like creep drop rush,
Oh,
you're healing in it.
Oh god.
It's like a shield battery proxy.
Please get out of my get these thoughts out of my brain, Sturgeon. Anyways, yeah, no, the Mutas are actually very low in number. It's just those initial 6, and you can see that Shin isn't fully overreacting. I say that he just made a bunch of Hydras on the back end, though, so he is getting a lot of those. They will still be good DPS overall if they can stay alive in the back line. then the Hydras are going to be really nice to dish out that damage. But you can see so many Banelings also being morphed by Solar as a great response to those Hydras. If he can get those around the Roaches, then he's going to be able to melt them very quickly, and everything can go terribly. But it's going to be a max versus maxed army situation coming out here into this this mid game, and we'll see what actually happens when these two do butt heads.
Yeah, I feel like you don't maybe want to take a completely straight-on fight here as Solo. If you can get a flank with the Banelings, and like you say, get those big connections on the Hydras, that could be huge. Right now, we see Shin starting to posture in the middle of the map. Doesn't want to run up this ramp. Not the best angle, but a huge run by that. Those Lings were sat in the top right of the map for like the last 5 minutes. They find their moment as the armies clash in the middle. They're going to get a lot of damage in the main base of Solar here. Just fighting a Queen right now, but they should start to get some drones here as the armies continue to fight, and the Banelings are going round.
Oh my god, they are going for a long journey around the backside. Luckily for Shin, he had one Hydra accidentally split over there, gets the information, is going to try to be able to split these Hydras on the back end, get some decent connections with the Banelings, but they're all going to get killed off. But the rest of the army from Shin is still really small because so much of it was also in those Lings doing the counterattack. So a nice move from Solar to bypass the Roaches, get into the meaty Hydras on the back end, and it's going to allow him to swing this fight. He's going to try to send it all the way across the map as well.
Yeah, Shin takes the worker lead, but his army size is lagging behind Solar's here. Solar senses weakness. He's going to try and shove at the front. More and more Roaches swarming in here. Ravagers being morphed. Drones here at the 4th base will probably just die if, you know, Solar decides to kill them. And there's a big supply advantage here for Solar right now in the army. Almost 40 as the hatchery falls here.
Yeah, there's 41 Roaches on the field for Solar, just sending it across the map. Just 22 from Shin, and I mean, it's a mirror matchup. If you have more of one army unit, you're just going to be able to steamroll the opponent. Solar's also got better upgrades with the +1 Carapace with that 2 missile attack as well, so this is going to go really great for him. Shin is just plummeting in supply, and that's going to be a 3-0 victory from Solar against Shin, looking very strong in the matchup as he's going to be going against Rogue following this.
Yeah, interesting games. Like, they looked very back and forth, but Solar just kept coming out on top in the end, having good engagements, good kind of game plans as well, I would say. I like the way he navigated this series. And he's looking very strong, but Rogue is a whole other beast.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, he put up a great match versus Serral as well yesterday, so it's definitely not going to be an easy matchup. Solar is not potentially looking forward to playing against Rogue. He would love to have an easier opponent, but we are in the final stages of the tournament, so no one is going to be easy at this point. I'm very curious to see how that match is going to go. It's going to be a best of 7 as well, so lots of potential games to be had there. It's going to be very, very spicy, hopefully.
Yeah, here is our bracket. Yesterday, Serral booked his spot to BlizzCon, beating Rogue 4-3. We just saw Solar take out Shin 3-0, so he will go on to play Rogue for the last BlizzCon spot in the grand finals of Season 6.
Yes, one of the 2 players left will be going into BlizzCon to play against Serral later in the year, just about a month later.
In the year, a month later.
Yeah.
In the year 2026.
Slightly later than right now. They will be playing, yes, and they will be doing it on the amazing BlizzCon stage over there. It's going to be really cool to see have happen. So, yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I was trying to say.
That's all you're trying to say. It would also be cool to see you guys on the Patreon. You can vote on the maps, on the players. Don't forget, in Season 7, we'll be voting in 3 new maps. And 3 new players, right? It's 3 each season?
I believe that's... Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3.
Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3.
I'm forgetting now as you asked me. I don't know.
If Gemini wants trap voted in, it's 3. If otherwise, it's 2.
No, we do not rig the brackets.
We don't rig the votes.
We are very honorable.
No, everyone really wanted to see trap play. It wasn't Gemini rigging it.
Yeah, absolutely. I did not. I took a look at the votes, like just after the vote got launched, and I saw like 2 people instantly vote for trap and no one else. I was like, stop the count! Stop the count! This is perfect. No, we let it ride out, of course. But anyways, we're going to be going to a break, and before after that, it's going to be the best of 7, the final one of today, to see who will be the second player to make it to those BlizzCon Grand Finals. We'll be right back.
So Ravagers are still good against them with a bile. Not as strong as they used to be. But this is a crazy push coming out from Hero. And the
Yeah.
real firepower for this push, it's in the +1 Zealots. They will two-shot Zerglings, so you kind of need Roaches to deal with this.
Yeah, it's an anti-Zergling push here. Double Robo. What a weird tech this has been. Okay, so he's going to come out now. Now, one thing about, moving Zealots and Sentries like this across the map, it moves really slow, so Zerg has a lot of time. And it's not even clear to me that Hero's going to commit with this. It almost looks like he bluffed.
Yeah, it's almost like he's trying to bait Rogue into going into Roach Ravager's response to this. And then maybe the double Robo is supposed to churn out Immortals and build up to a later timing attack. That kind of seems like it's going to be the game plan here for Hero, but Rogue so far hasn't taken the bait. He's made a couple of safety Roaches, which you must do, but he didn't overcommit to them. Just the handful that you see on screen right there with 6 more in production. And there's a Spire in production.
Yeah, Spire's about halfway done. And we have Immortals coming out 2 at a time. Now, I think this push has to basically hit before the Spire's done. Zerg is banking up. Actually, not banking up that much just yet. We've got a small Ling counterattack here. The Lings are going to see the double Robo. This is one of the funny things. It's like, I guess technically a Void Ray could kill all these Lings if they just stayed there, but yeah. Void Ray, not great in moments like that for taking out lots and lots and lots of little weak units.
Yeah, the Spire's nearly done here for Rogue, but Hero has been so aggressively posturing with his army that Rogue hasn't had the time or the space to build up the bank that I think he wanted. And actually, Rogue, it seems like he lost track of Hero's army right now because the Roaches are in the center.
Yeah, okay, so he's just going to get an execution here off on these Queens and drones. I mean, it's kind of crazy. He actually just kind of out-positioned him totally. The counterattack's going to come in here, and it really can't do anything.
It's a very dangerous position here for Rogue. You're caught out of position. You think that Hero went home, but he actually pivoted around to take out this expansion. Support Crawler against a recalled Oracle. Guys are about half HP, but Rogue, he's reset down to 3 hatches. He's on a 3-base economy. Equal economies here between Protoss and Zerg.
Really clean play from Hero. He basically got in there, he got the kill on everything, and then didn't have to trade on anything, and just recalls back home. One of the problems with trying to counterattack with Roaches and Lings in the way that this game is looking is that you have 2 Robos that are pumping out Immortals, so the Immortals just counter the Roaches. And as long as you have good, like SimCity, like positioning, you're not gonna have a hard time against Lings.
And really good intuition by Hero, by the way. I don't think he actually spotted the Mutalisks, and he didn't even see the Spire until just now, but he already started Phoenix production because he only saw the Roaches and Lings there for Rogue. He intuited that it's likely going to be a Mutalisk follow-up. If he's not seeing Hydras, they're not seeing something else. And so the Phoenix production already starting here, but honestly, the SimCity kind of working against Hero in terms of the defense. You see the Stalkers have to move all the way around. Blink is not... Oh, did it just finish? It must have just finished, so... Finally now Hero able to get on top of those, but the Muta's getting a little bit more damage than I think they should.
Yeah, Rogue not getting too much done right now. We're still waiting to see if Hero's going to try to push out again. It seems like Rogue's been really eager to try to counterattack or try to hit some position, but, Hero's been buttoned up pretty tight. But, these 2 hatches are going to finish the new 4th and the 5th base. And it's probably going to be time to move out then from Hero. Now, Hero basically already won the first fight and is basically taking a lead since that. Oh, there's going to be another base taken at that Pocket Expo that we were talking about earlier. But, Hero, he's 25 supply away from maxing out. It looks like he's actually supply blocked right now. But once those pylons finish, he is going to go out, no doubt.
Yeah, and this is a very effective way to play versus a Mutalisk style, even though Rogue hasn't really been able to commit into Mutas the way that he wanted to. If you just play on 3 bases, you build a little bit of static defense back at home, and then you max out and push really fast like this, the Muta army, a lot of its strength is in its mobility. Its ability to go for counterattacks, its ability to intercept small armies. It's not as good in a head-on engagement. And so Hero maxing out like this, it's a real threat to Rogue.
Okay. He takes out another base and kind of just leaves. And we have not seen Rogue really ready to take a fight. Now, maybe that is the right call by him, right? You're always willing, by the way, as Protoss to just give up Zealots and take out hatcheries. And so I think Hero's going to move in again. He's taken out that base. There's actually a lot of ways that Hero could try to attack this. He may try to go for that base that he took out earlier. All of the resources that Rogue have spent have built up into this army he's got. And it is a crazy amount of Banelings. So we need to see how the Banelings... What's up, everybody? It's time for the final match of the night here. Solar versus Rogue. Again, the winner is going on to BlizzCon, where our finals will be played.
It's going to be sick, man. One more ZVZ before the finals for another ZVZ, but that's totally fine. Two great players, of course, going to be fighting to see who they can play against. An even awesomer player, I feel like. So many good awesomer players here. I don't know why I said awesome.
Battle of the bugs, as I like to call it. Who's the best bug of them all?
Who's the buggiest?
All right. So this has been our event, man. Sorry, Terrans. Sorry, Protosses. Sorry, not sorry, Protosses, actually.
You know what?
You guys usually weren't winning tournaments for about 18 years, but you had a good run. Let me tell you something, man. The damage Artosis has done by hitting Protoss will never fully be understood. Yeah, guys, it's going to be the Zergs here.
With the Zergs. This is now a Zerg tournament. We used to be a Protoss tournament, but now we are...
Same glasses, same haircuts. I would say. Who wore it better?
Both looking the same way, but they're... Oh, yeah, now Solar's starting to look forward, but... I always wonder if one of these days, when we turn on that webcam, Rogue is just going to be exercising in that dip machine.
He's doing
behind
dips,
him.
yeah.
I just want to see that happen.
I'll tell you what, with Solar, I really want him to just hang that jacket up. It is the summer heat. I want you guys to. We're like getting a heat wave. Like people are dying out here, and I don't know. Isn't there a closet that jacket could go in? I mean, what are we doing here?
That is like the most Korean apartment thing as well, because like a lot of Korean apartments are a little small, and the storage space is a little bit low.
Everything's compact. You gotta get really creative.
Exactly.
I too also have a chair with a bunch of stuff on it. Okay? I'm not saying I'm different.
Anyways, we're going to be going into map number 1 here. At Eternity's Edge is going to be the map. Let's get started with this best of 7 between Solar and Rogue.
We picked for that map, man. Bad things are happening on this map. I feel like just the way the music sounds for that, I feel like I'm like, is Batman gonna come save this map? This map needs a Batman for sure.
Is it the Joker about
Which
to run
Batman
wild?
villain is going to ruin this map?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, we have a pool immediately.
Oh.
Solar.
Oh.
The pool.
Very fast pool indeed. Actually, I think this is kind of similar to what he did, I think, in that last game against Shin. So I think it is going to be a bit more just kind of defensive-oriented play from Solar with this. It's just like an all-around safe pool timing, since it's not like the craziest. It's not like a 12 pool or 10 pool or anything.
It's not a super aggro.
Yeah. But it's different,
It is different.
It is interesting.
It is different. Well, it's better than when we get the ZVZs where I'm like, well, they're doing the same thing.
Exactly.
They're literally exactly the same thing.
Oh my god, that's the worst.
Yeah.
Just like literally 6 minutes.
I'm
It's
like,
like,
we're going to just sit in silence until somebody does something different.
Yeah. Just have the longest game of Caster Chicken imaginable.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the way this map looks, in all seriousness.
Mm-hmm. It is a very cool looking
map.
map.
Makers.
All the map makers always find like the coolest little doodads and stuff. Like I've never seen them before. I feel like after 16 years of map making, we would, just kind of keep seeing the same things being used over and over. But no, they keep finding all these random little textures and things to put in, and they look really cool.
The map editor is crazy for StarCraft.
Mm-hmm.
Did you start on Warcraft 3? Was that your first game?
I did play Brood War.
You did play? Did you use the map editor back then?
I did, yeah. I would literally. That's my entire early game Brood War experience. I would just make a map in the map editor with the most broken like high ground advantages and just infinite minerals and just sit siege tanks on top of one.
Oh yeah.
Like the smallest possible ramp.
I never really messed with the StarCraft 2 map editor. But
yeah,
I know it's incredible.
I mean, you could just make like entirely different games.
You could
with that
just
thing.
make
It's
a whole
insane.
game in there. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Okay. So, in this game, I will say, before we get started really here, Rogue's looking so strong.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got a really good shot to move on to this. But yeah, between these two guys, whatever the best builds that there is in ZVZ right now, we're going to see it. because we've got like almost like a month off before the BlizzCon finals. I know some people, by the way, were complaining. They were tweeting at me, like, why would you do this early? We want to have enough of a runway that, players, we can get everybody ready to be at BlizzCon,
exactly,
basically.
We can't just assume that if the thing happens a week after this match, like, oh, yep, they're going to have visas all set up, their passports are going to be all good.
Brands, you need a visa to get into the the country. So it's just, we wanted to give enough space. So Solar here is going to be going for a third base in the bottom. We'll see if there's going to be mirrored behavior here from Rogue or not.
Yeah, he's going for
never
very
mind.
fast
I'm sorry.
lair.
I didn't see the production tab.
Yeah,
here.
he's skipped Ling speed. He's going for a Roach Horn and Evo Chamber. So, yeah, a very big divergence here from Rogue. Going to be going for, very fast tech. Something that we maybe have kind of seen from him a little bit earlier in his ZVZs, even pre-patch he was doing some kind of similar stuff like this, just skipping Ling speed, going really fast in the 2-base Roach speed aggression and stuff like that. He's going for all 4 gases as well, so this could be one of those plays where he makes it look like he's going for like a Roach speed timing with the Roach Horn at the front and the double Evo Chamber, but he might go into a really fast Spire behind it or something like that.
Yeah, he even basically sealed up the back just in case that was a commitment. He could like have that entrance plugged up. And so the Lings are just going to peek in again. Now, it's going to be hard to make anything really work here. I think Rogue has basically taken every protocol necessary to make it physically, as long as Rogue doesn't misclick, it's physically impossible to get in there and do any damage.
Yeah, so it's going to be on Solar to kind of figure out what's going on, and it's actually going to be a fast Nidus play coming out of Rogue, so that's where that gas is going to be going. Also for way more Roaches, so it will be a full-on Roach aggression coming out of him. Lots of different ways that he could have possibly taken this build, but this is the one that he's chosen for this particular game. The Overlord going to try to scout in the main base to see what's going on. It will see some of those gases being taken and the gas being mined, but it will get killed off. It will not actually get to the natural to see that very important information of the Nidus. He doesn't see the lair, but I'm pretty sure Solar can assume what's going on. You would not be sitting on 2 bases and not making a lair. Like, there's nothing else you could be doing, really.
Yeah, exactly. You're like,
was that a kill?
He's just going to try to win with less. Yeah, did he actually kill that? He
wow.
killed a hatchery. Wow.
That was interesting.
That's crazy, actually. Okay, I was about to say I think this is going to be up in the front. I was wrong. It's going to be in the main over here, right by the Labubu RSL watch party. So he's going to come in now with the Roaches and the Queens. And, this is going to be rough. Yeah, he's not able to even get up the ramp, so he actually drops the Queen immediately. The bottleneck at the ramp, if he can angle it right, yeah, you can really punish if anybody trying to come up here, and that's exactly what's going to happen. The drones are pulled a little bit late as well. More Roaches are going to trickle in.
Yeah, this looked like Solar was really unprepared. You could see on the webcam he was kind of tilting his head when he realized this was coming. And now this is going to be a pretty good fight here for Rogue on top of this ramp. So many drones getting killed off, and that's going to be a very swift game. Rogue coming in with a very decisive attack with that Nidus Worm. Completely unexpected.
The Ewoks didn't even turn their head, too.
That's true.
They were watching the RSL. They were watching what happened right there on the screen. Not much else to say about that game.
Yeah, that's just a good build from Rogue, man. Solar just didn't really put the pieces together.
I like your knowledge bomb about, if you're on 2 base, you've got to be making a layer, right?
Yeah,
it's like, what are you? He's just going to go for Roaches with less. Like,
he's just going to not have Roach speed. He's going to have 50 Roaches with no upgrades on them.
I'm going to try to do the same thing, but not have upgrades. See if that works. So that was game 1.
Yeah.
Best of 7, by the way. Did we mention this? This is not a best of 5. Best of 7.
Yeah.
To go to BlizzCon.
Yes. Still many games.
Stage.
The big stage. Oh my God, it's gonna be sick.
The fans are gonna be there with their cheerfuls.
They're gonna be trying to get us to sign things, and then Tesla's gonna shove their face away, like,
and
stop it! I'm saving esports.
I can't look at them. That's right. It's gonna be sick. RSL BlizzCon. It's gonna be so good. But who will go on? Right now, Rogue. Just absolutely judo flipped. Solar there.
Just pulled his seat out from under him.
Yeah.
Solar was coming back from sharpening his pencil.
He took
and Rogue
him by
was like,
his
hold up.
gi, and he did the flip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gave him a little wedgie, shoved him in the toilet.
Gave him a swirly.
Swirly, that's what they call it.
Yeah. Wedgie, no, you're thinking of swirly. You confused wedgie and swirly.
Yeah.
Wedgie's where you pull their underpants
No,
off.
I know.
Yeah.
I just said wedgie, and then I also combined it with the toilet, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Got a bullying combo.
It's
coming
my
out.
bully tech, is what I like to call.
It's a quick swap. Go from the wedgie into
it's
the
kind of like
toilet,
going from Mutas
into
into
the
Roaches,
swirly.
really. Guys, we're going to go to Celestial Enclave for game number 2. Let's get into it. All right, let's get into it. Game 2's here. Rogue with a very clean, very easy win to take the whole thing, for game 1. Game 2 here, it's going to be a 10 pool.
Oh, nice. Now that's something spicy. I mean, Solar loves to bring out some aggression overall. I mean, both these players, I think, are definitely able to rotate this stuff in. So, yeah, it's going to be on Rogue to kind of figure out how he wants to navigate this early game once the Lings start to hit the field. But for now, he's not going for any early pools himself to be safe or anything. It looks like he's going to be gearing up to go for that fast hatchery. So let's see how he's going to be able to respond to Solar's early pool coming out.
Yeah. So, we already saw this earlier today. There are several different ways, I think, to try to handle this. Well, I guess, maybe there's less or maybe there's more. I don't know. When you change the worker count, everything kind of is different about how things can pan out. But we still don't have a pool right now, and Lings are about to hatch here for Solar. He'll probably, if I understand the way that this plays out now, you always go for the hatchery first.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, like in a game we already casted today, we saw the player basically elect to just tank damage on the hatch and cancel the last second to buy time. He does not do the runaround. So he goes directly through over the Overlord, sees everything, and it's a Baneling's nest behind this. So this is a commitment.
Mm-hmm.
This is different than what we saw. I'll correct myself. This is different than what we saw earlier. Last time it was basically Lings trying to damage down the hatch, but this is him going for a kill move right now.
Yeah, it looks like Solar might be realizing that Rogue kind of saw the last series. If he was paying any attention, Rogue would definitely be noting that there was a 10 pool and would be realizing it wasn't the full-on aggressive type. And so this time Solar might be trying to switch it up, trying to mind game him a little bit. Now he will see those Banelings morphing on in, so Rogue realizing exactly what is coming his way.
I wonder if he should have gone down and not shown that. I don't know. Okay, well, so the Banelings are going to come in here. He's going to move in. I don't know why these drones are down here.
Oh my God. What? That is 5 drones immediately off the table.
What?
The 6th one is going to follow that as well. A very strange decision from Rogue, considering that the hatchery was more likely to fall anyways. So, yeah, that was a strange move, just donating those drones right there.
Okay, so the Bane detonates. He actually gets 3 Lings with that, so that's pretty good. The Lings are going to come in. They get a perfect surround on the Queen. But the drones and the Lings come in, and then they're able to do a little bit more damage. He's got to be careful that the Bane's at about half health. That's enough where the Queen can snipe it from a distance. Oh, nicely done.
Yeah, nice defense at the top there for Rogue. So the Queen was nicely positioned between the pool and the hatch there to make sure it couldn't actually get killed off, and then it does snipe that Baneling from downtown. So nice recovery there from Rogue, of course. Unfortunately, losing those drones in the natural was a bit unfortunate. However, still going to be able to recover and able to defend there from Solar. But it's going to basically even things up on the workers for now, but then Solar's going to be able to pull ahead, of course, because he's been droning behind it. He's going to have his hatchery done very early compared to Rogue. And so now Rogue has to kind of figure out how he wants to navigate this game, because he doesn't have a natural started until literally just now. Solar's is totally finished. He's going to be able to eclipse him in the worker account pretty soon here.
Okay, yeah, I mean, now the droning up is happening. Solar's in a comfortable spot. His second hatch, like you were saying, is done. Rogue has had to basically restart here. I'm curious to how Rogue is going to play this from behind. I think he's proven to be one of the best players in the world at kind of being in basically like I don't want to say losing position, but certainly at a disadvantage, right? And then he kind of knows where to take the game. Will that be something like another Nidus, right? Or some kind of game that doesn't really focus on having everything, instead trying to interrupt everything on the other side? We'll see. Layer tech starts now for Solar as well.
Yeah, he's just going to take this opportunity to go into a very solid, stable 2-base setup. Not going to spread himself too thin from the beginning here, realizing that maybe Rogue might try to be aggressive following that early deficit. However, Rogue is going to be going for that 3rd base relatively quickly here, so he's going to try to recoup in that way, realizing that his gas was super late from the early opening as well, so it's not like he's going to be able to rush out the fast lair or go anything into that avenue. So going for the 3rd base in a safe location, making sure he can definitely solidify that. Zergling going to try to scout this information from Solar, seeing whatever he can see. Only sees the natural, isn't able to get up into the main base as the Queen was there and some of the other units. So not the greatest amount of information gained, but does see at least that there are drones saturated in the natural.
Okay, so this Roach Warren is going to start up here. I almost forgot you have that base in the back of your expansion.
It's so rare that players actually take it just because it is so bare. There's not really many resources there.
Yeah, but I think it makes sense for Rogue to play this while in a deficit. I wonder if this impacts the whole idea of whether or not you want to go 10 pull on this map at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It feels like, you know, you're able to squeeze them a little bit more easily if they have to expand outwardly, right? Where like if you get in a bad spot, you can kind of just like turtle back in your base. That's a very different story.
Yeah. It's going to be a fast Muta switch coming in from Solar, so that's where all of his tech and gas is going to be heading. Sitting on 2 bases for now, so he's going to be going into that quite quickly. Whereas Rogue is going in for the Roaches, and he's also getting a Baneling Nest to make sure he's nice and safe on the ground. So we'll see how aggressive he wants to be, because he is making quite a few Roaches at this point. He's only sitting on 30 drones. One of the Queens will get killed off, as there is a random amount of Lings and a couple of Banelings here.
Gonna get the Scout. Oh, he's going to get in the main.
He does see that Roach being morphed in. He sees not too many drones overall just yet from the natural and main combined. So I think, yeah, Solar is putting down a Spine Crawler. He kind of realizes just how aggressive Rogue is trying to be right now with this setup. 22 more Lings in the production tab. He's going to try to end this right here.
Yeah, now he's going to come in here. He's going to pop both of these Spines. This is really big because the Spines, and they're very meaty. They take a long time to kill. The Mutas are about to hatch, but right now the Roaches are going to hit. Oh, seem to be on move command for a second. Okay, they're going to get in here, and they're going to start to chip away. And the drones, they need to get evacuated.
Queens both killed off right at the start as well. That's a large part of the army. It's basically only the Mutas on the defense right now for Solar, and there's going to be so many units trying to ransack this main base. The drones are being forced to be used as the main front line here, so many of them are going to get killed off because these Mutas are going to take quite a while to kill off all these Roaches.
Yeah, he's going to come in here. He's already killed 11 drones. 13 now have gone down. Again, this is a 2-base Zerg here. The Natural's still not safe. He's basically split Lings around here. And what you're doing is you're trying to just stretch out the amount of time that Solar's going to defend. Because behind this, Rogue has more drones. He actually has more bases. Don't forget, he took that free base in the back. Even though it doesn't have a lot of mineral patches, that means he's pretty insanely ahead, right, in every conceivable metric. The question now is, are the spores up in time? Oh, wow, he actually just started one. I think it was in the, I didn't see which base it was, sorry. But, you know, I think he forced enough time in there. Solar decided instead to go kill Overlords.
Yeah, I think he kind of assumed that there would be Spore Crawlers up in time. There was so much reaction time available there for Rogue. So he's just taking the guaranteed damage of these Overlords that are sitting on his side of the map, realizing that he's going to be able to at least kill those, force some reaction in that way. And then by the time that the Mutas got there, the Spore Crawlers would be ready anyways. So yeah, a nice little situation there for Solar, at least to decide to go on those Overlords. And he does survive, of course, the attack, and his army is going to be pretty large as well. With these Mutas coming out, he's going to get a lot of Lings and Banelings. He might be trying to go for a big counterattack himself, as he might sense weakness as Rogue is trying to recoup from that big attack that he did just earlier.
What? The Queen lives. He went right by there and decided to traumatize the Queen instead of actually kill it. He does end up getting the kill there on the other one there, too. Now 15 drones are falling. A real back-and-forth game here. The Lings are now going to dive up into the mini-base.
Yeah, it looks like there's really nothing here for Rogue to defend. The Mutas as well are going to be very difficult. There are Spore Crawlers, though, in the mineral line, so they're not going to be able to deep dive too much, so they will be forced away for now. But some great equalizing damage from Solar yet again. Both these players just taking hits at each other back and forth, really able to equalize the drone count every single time. This this worker income graph just looks kind of ridiculous. It's going on a seesaw adventure over here as the third base does start to get thrown down by Solar. So if he can keep that alive, that's going to be really good because, of course, it's a full base compared to Rogue's. The Banelings trying to deep dive into the natural mineral line here. They're going to just be able to focus down some of those queens and then have to get on out of there.
Yeah, so he gets out, and that pulls the worker count a lot closer together. So I would say this is a big success. The Muta count's still high enough. You got to respect that. He's going to back up now. And we're going to have another Ling counterattack come out here.
Yeah, this is just they're just going back and forth across the map. One player overextends just a little bit, then the other player responds with a whole lot of units defensively and then just tries to go across the map themselves. It's very just kind of back and forth with this, and the third base is now going to be the target. I don't know if the Lings will be able to actually kill those off. Actually, it looks like he will be able to target that down and get a cancel, so that's a nice win for Rogue, continuing to deny the economy from Solar. Of course, he still has his third base set up, even though it is a smaller base. It is still extra income going his way, and the Mutas are basically being forced to stay on defensive watch. They're not able to continue going across the map and trying to kill drones or overlords, so that's a great win for Rogue.
Yeah, this is it's interesting how back and forth this has truly been. We have very different techs coming out now. Rogue's lair is close to finishing. We have +1 air weapons for Solar. So he's like going to stick with Mutas, basically.
Yeah, he's going to be going full on into that tech, it looks like. Still getting a couple of those out with the gas that comes on in. And then just using the rest of the larva for drones.
Ooh,
he's trying to get some more, but some nice pullbacks there from Rogue to stay out of range of those Mutalisks and go to the protective Spore Crawlers. But yeah, it looks like Solar's really trying his best, but can't really find too much damage with these Mutas at this point.
Yeah, and an infestation pit's going to come down here. Now, that's the real answer to Mutas, right? Is when you get them in mass, if you can get, a good fungal, we combo that with Hydras. Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be the move. So he'll have to set up for some kind of a push. Solar can try to rely on counterattacks for a while. One thing about Mutas, they can go anywhere they want, right? So you have to basically be ready to defend everywhere. That being said, Rogue didn't take too much abuse the last couple times the Mutas came in. He was actually pretty perfect about pulling drones. He's going to hit this base down here now. And again, this is another forced cancel, another little victory here. The Spore is going to come down here, but you can just choose to fight somewhere else.
Yeah, it looks like Rogue's going to be trying to maybe just kind of hunker down a little bit here to make sure he can get a very strong army overall and solidify these 4 bases. There's a small counterattack getting thrown down. A couple of Banelings do explode, but don't get the crazy connections that they're expecting. But the Lings will be able to potentially kill quite a few of these drones. 6 of them in total getting killed off. It's a nice move, continuing to try to equalize this worker count, keeping it as low as possible since Rogue is trying to power up into the Hive tech as well. First Infestors are going to start hitting the field as he really starts to make sure he can get this anti-Muta army set up.
Yeah, he's still developing that. We're having Infestors starting to hatch here. And what Solar needs to do is basically take advantage of this window of time he has, right? When you have Mutas like this, you basically have control of the game. The other Zerg, Rogue in this case, is on his back foot defending. Although that was I'm sorry, did he get a kill or was that a cancel on the hatch?
I did not notice, yeah.
Either way, the hatch is gone, right? So that he succeeds there. So yeah, no kill. It was a forced cancel. But yeah, I mean, basically Solar needs to try to explode and be bigger before this push actually comes. We've got Hive Tech coming here now, too.
Yeah, a lot of Banelings just exploded off screen right there. I'm not quite sure whose those were, but an interesting trade right there. A couple Lings trying to get some scouting information, seeing just how many hatcheries that Solar is on, seeing what the drone count is and whatnot. You might try to hide those for later. Could try to morph in a couple of Banelings if Solar is not really paying attention. That could do some good damage, but it looks like he's sent a few Lings over there, so he knows of that possibility. And the Mutas will come on into the main base of Rogue to try and deal some more damage, but a couple Queens will get killed off is actually quite nice, of course. That is some anti-air defense, and of course, you want to be able to get a lot of injects going. An Infestor Snipe would be nice, but a good fungal, but nothing really to follow it up unless the second one does hit. A third one could potentially hit them as well, but the Mutas
those are Queens. I thought they were Infestors. I was like, why is he not going to shoot another one? This is insane. Okay, so yeah, I mean, he's able to just basically turn and do so much damage. And, the thing is, if you don't have enough Infestors back-to-back, yeah, you can't really chain down and do that damage. Solar doing so much right now and continuing to do so.
Yeah, the main base is getting ransacked. The Infestation Pit almost getting killed off. The gas is getting denied is also going to be really good. But yeah, if there's nothing to actually follow up the fungals, then the Mutas are still going to stay alive. You need a lot of fungals to actually kill Mute is 100-0. So there's nothing else on the ground to be able to deal with this. A couple more rallying infestors getting sniped as well. Rogue not really paying attention. One fungal is going to go off, but again, there's nothing to deal with them afterwards. The Vipers have spawned to try and deal some parasitic bombs onto those, but there's not really anything there. A couple of counter damage Lings getting sent across as well to try and kill some of these drones. Will keep the economy of Solar in check. He's only on 44 drones, which is pretty good for Rogue's case, that is. But the army supply of Solar is really large.
Yeah, so Rogue really badly interrupted there. Solar, I mean, he might be able to close this game out. He's made even more mutas here. I see one infestor, and the problem is, you know, one is never going to be the right number, right? And now he's going to take that infestor out. You know, you get to a point where you have enough infestors and you can kind of just ignore the spores, right? I mean, you can basically just destroy everything. He's going to basically be draining energy here, or start building energy by draining HP on for the Vipers. But I don't think it's nothing's happening quickly enough. Yeah, I can't articulate myself. It's just I'm not getting like half thoughts out here. Nothing's happening.
Nothing.
Fast.
He can't
enough.
attack.
GG. Great game.
Yeah.
Well done.
That was very interesting. Back and forth. I felt like neither player really felt like they were controlling the game at any point. It felt like both players were just kind of seesawing back and forth, just trying to get some sort of an advantage going their way. But it feels like the Muta player in general is able to always kind of come out with the lead in terms of the tempo, even though when things kind of start to get crazy, sure, you maybe will lose some drones because of a ground counter attack, but it feels like once that's over, you have such a such versatility with the Mutas that you can always kind of find ways to claw it back in your favor.
Yeah, yeah, nicely done. So we're tied up 1-1. Very even match here. Let's plug the YouTube here. So get out there, subscribe, guys. These are simple ways. You know, if you're someone who's not in a position financially to support Patreon, I get it, right? We're all in different places in our lives here, but a free way to do it would be to subscribe, like all the videos. It really does go a long way. It's been great growing this little YouTube, you know, but we need to get bigger.
Yes.
And so please continue to like and subscribe and all that stuff. London is coming.
Speaking of the tube, let's go to London.
We're going to London, guys. We'll have more information on exactly where, but we do know exactly when. November 21st and 22nd. We'll have more announcements on our show, on our socials, on the Patreon. But we're very excited to have our first event in Europe, and I guess we're gonna have our finals in NA. We're gonna have hit all the. There's EU, NA, and Asia.
Yeah, we just got to go to Antarctica next, I guess, man.
We need to
get those penguins entertained.
That's right. That's right. No, it's been exciting. So we're looking forward to that. Guys, we're going to go to a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on with this best of 7.
With static defense, I'm not sure if there's a Templar Archives out just yet. Oh, there is. Yeah, Archons are much needed here to try and add some splash damage and keep those Corruptors away from the Tempest. And Void Rays also. I mean, you need that splash, or not splash damage, excuse me. You need the anti-armor damage of the Void Rays to try and stand a chance. But again, I look at the game, and the problem for me is that you see the minimap. Rogue, the creep spread is phenomenal. He just took a 5th base. More drones are being created. He's going to go to 80+ workers. The pressure is fully on Hero just to survive.
Yeah, this is, you know, the game quieted down quite a bit, but we know that Rogue is... This attack is inbound, right? We're seeing all these Banes get made here. Not a lot really on the ground to fight the Banes. Hero is going to take a 4th base, but the real thing we got to focus on is going to be this attack. And can Hero stay in this? He's going to be defending for a long time, by the way. Sky Toss probably takes longer to really kick in than almost anything in the game, right? So, yeah. I mean, let's see if he can survive this next huge attack here from Rogue, who is now maxed out.
Yeah, 4 Overseers here for Rogue, so should have the detection for the Mothership Cloak as well. And now Rogue coming in from a huge angle there on the left side. The Corruptors instantly snipe the Mothership. I'm not even sure if a Time Warp is able to be dropped right there by Hero. Force Field's going to zone out much of the ground army here for Rogue, but the Corruptor's just absolutely destroying the Sky Toss fleet. Hero takes his hand off the keyboard.
Oh, man.
Nice big stretch. And that's going to be this series. GG.
Just stretching out his GG hand. Didn't want to get a cramp. Typing
Don't
GG.
wanna
Don't hurt
get a
that
cramp.
GG finger.
Oh, that was brutal, man.
Yeah, that was. I thought that was going to be a lot closer.
I did too, but honestly, the openings that Hero went for, they felt pretty flimsy, especially there in game number 2 and game number 3. I mean, he has pulled out this kind of Oracle tech a couple of times in tournaments recently. It's why it didn't come as too much as a surprise, I think, even to Rogue.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of thing where I feel like if you do it once in a blue moon, you're going to find a lot of success, but if you start dipping back into it, like Rogue seemed very comfortable approaching that game 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Hero with maybe the most, this is saying a lot, by the way, the most alternative play I've ever seen from him.
Yeah,
right?
it was,
those were weird games. We had 3-gate, 1-base Adepts in game 2, and we had 2-star-gate Oracle. Crazy. So, guys, August 8th, next weekend, we are going to have Serral versus Rogue, Hero versus Shin, and Clem versus Solar. And that's all going to be on August 8th. And then, of course, August 9th, we will have the rest of the losers bracket play out. We will also on August 8th know if it's Serral or Rogue going to BlizzCon.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome, no matter who it is. If you take a look at the Season 6 schedule for the online portion of this tournament, yeah, that Saturday, 3 series deciding the first finalist at BlizzCon, and then on Sunday, we will determine the second finalist after playing the Lure bracket semifinal and final. And it's going to be awesome. I cannot wait for StarCraft 2 to be back at the big stage at BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Casted by Tastes and Artosis. You guys are the best. It's going to be so much fun.
We're so excited, man. Artie is super pumped. I was talking to him on the phone just 2 days ago. And, yeah, that's going to be fun. It's going to be cool to have BlizzCon back as well.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Blizzard, it felt weird when there wasn't a BlizzCon. It was kind of one of the, outside of obviously their amazing games, just, the fact that they had their own con, right, where everybody got to go together and meet. Guys, we've been starting early, and it's going to always be at this time from here on out. So, yeah, feel free to join us, watch live. And if you can't, we got it on the YouTubes.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. You can check out the VODs right there. At Revive SC2. Ooh, production right on point there.
Yeah,
with
it's
transition
like, oh my
into YouTube.
God, it's like we're dancing right now. It's like perfect, like synchronized swimming.
Well done,
we
Ziggy.
talk about it, and then they go to the next slide right on time.
Yeah.
Archon Studio. Guys, we love these guys. They've been supporting us, and we're just so grateful. Without them, we would not be able to be... their help has been tremendous, right?
Yeah, we would not be able to have RSL the
we
scale
would be
that we
dead. We would be in the dirt.
No, but for real, Archon Studio, they've been with RSL from the very beginning. And what they're making, too, not just their support, which we love them for, but what they're making...
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to be going more into this series. It is Solar versus Rogue, seeing who's going to be the next person to go into the BlizzCon finals to face off against Serral in September.
Yeah, it's 1-1 right now. It's all tied up. I was just thinking about Rogue's game plan in this series compared to his game plan against Serral. And like how much more aggressive he is against the other Korean Zergs. Like against Serral, he wanted to go late game, he wanted to greed. That was kind of his game style. And then against Solar, he's been very aggressive. Like, we had the Nidus, a lot of roach timing, stuff like that. So it's interesting how he's switched things up.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely want to kind of cater your play towards the different players that you're going to be playing against. But so far it's been 1-1, so a lot of, just kind of back and forth so far in this series. That last game especially was very on the knife's edge, as you like to say. So we didn't really know who was going to come out on top, but it is 1-1 for now. It's going to be map number 3. Fear and Faith is going to be the map. Let's get on into it.
All right, we are loaded into Fear and Faith, game number 3 of this best of 7. We've got Solar in the bottom left, the red Zerg, and in the top right, it is Rogue, the blue Zerg. And oh my god, it's another temple.
Look at little Solar over here.
All right.
Doesn't want to retire this build just yet. Found success with it last game, of course. It wasn't necessarily the 10 pull that maybe won him outright, but it definitely started out the tempo for him in the correct pace. So definitely will be sticking with this one, seeing how good it worked last time. And we'll also be using the nice little worker tube to try and get some early information to know exactly where his opponent might be, so he'll know 100% not to send it in the correct or in the wrong direction.
He said, quick, I've got to win as many games as I can before this dog jumps on my lap and I can no longer play StarCraft anymore. But yeah, this is cool to do on this map. You got to use the tube, find out where your opponent is. You do not want to send those lings to the wrong base and end up looking like a silly Billy.
Yep.
And then you just GG because you're attacking the wrong place. So good to get that confirmation. Obviously the Overlord going to the top left spawn as well. And by the process of elimination, he will know that Rogue is in the top right.
Yes, he won't be seeing any Overlord coming his way from the top, and he's going to come down here and likely see no hatchery. And so he's going to just kind of, take the risk there, assume that there's not going to be another early pool coming his way either. So those lings are getting sent right across spawn. So a nice little deduction there from Solar. Well thought out build for the map. So he will get across the map nice and quickly. We'll see again what Rogue's defense is going to be. Will he suicide 5 drones in the natural again? What did you think about that play last game? That was interesting.
Okay, I was actually getting a drink and I was half watching, but it looked like he was maybe going to try and fight with drones, but then you realized what it was. I'm not sure. Here we go anyway. The lings are hitting the hatchery. It is going to finish. The question is, will he actually pull the drones now or not? Or is he just going to let this die and play it from one base? It's so interesting. I know Lambo's talked about this a lot, like that you can basically save it if you do the right response. But yeah, he's going to just let this die, play it from one base. He does have more drones. He's up 7 drones for the moment. Obviously, he has way less lings. And it's a little bit difficult to retake the natural until you get, your queen down there. But that's what he's going for. He's just going to catch 2 lings.
Oh, nice cancel.
Nice cancel. That was almost finished.
Yeah. So it looks like Solar's going to run into the main base here just to see if he can find any extra drone damage, if he can pick off 1 or 2. He's going to test the micro of Rogue, but of course both players extremely good on that front. And so Rogue will be able to push those lings away as the queen does spawn and force the Zerglings away for now. It looks like they're just going to kind of juke around at the bottom as well. Solar, of course, wants to delay this natural from being placed down for as long as possible if he can, but it looks like Rogue will be able to force those lings away just in time, and then the hatchery can place that, get placed down there.
I really like the response from Rogue here. He's staying on one base, and obviously you can't mine from the natural, so having any more drones than 19 doesn't do you anything. So he's going into a quick evo, so he can keep mining the gas, not just have saturation on minerals, and then use that gas to get a quick upgrade here, a quick carapace. And that's going to be really big in the early Zergling wars, and his speed is almost done here, so Solar's got to be so careful with these lings. I feel like he needs to go home right now.
Yeah, this is going to be really risky. I mean, the speed from him is going to be much later, of course, and now he sees the speed from Rogue. Rogue not even going to bother chasing those. Oh, never mind. He is going to bother chasing them. He just sent one across to get the scouting information. Then he's going to actually deal with the other ones back at home. There's still a decent amount of these lings, and they're quite healthy from Solar, so Rogue doesn't want to just suicide everything. And the ling will get inside for just a little bit there. See the natural, sees the Evo coming up, see some drones being morphed, and we'll just take that information there. Unable to get into the main base, but I'm actually curious. I was going to mention this. I was curious. I feel like a lot of players would look, or a lot of people would look at this and see the hatchery finished and then just getting killed immediately and kind of question mark that and be like, well, why wouldn't you just cancel it as the defending player? Is the idea that you want to get those couple extra larva spawns so you can get a few extra Zerglings out? Is that the general play there?
Yeah, I mean, if you cancel it, then you kind of give them the win without them having to work for it, right? Okay. Then they can go into the main right away and start to kill your drones and your lings. So them kind of chewing on that for a while gives you time to get your queen out, get your lings out, get out the defense that you need. Obviously, they can't let it finish because then they don't have an advantage anymore because you have more workers and the 2 bases. Whereas the Tempuller has less workers, but he has his natural finished. And if he can get the kill, then things kind of equalize that way. But yeah, we do see the carapace upgrade almost finished here for Rogue, and the layer much quicker for Solar in this game.
Yeah, both, Solar, that is going to be just kind of sitting on 2 bases for now, like you said, just kind of getting that faster layer set up, whereas Rogue is going for the faster 3rd base. We'll be getting the Roach Warren a little bit later, but Solar's going to start pumping out a few of those Roaches right now as Rogue continues to try and test that front wall a little bit. The +1 Carapace is done so fast for Rogue in this game, so he's going to be able to get the +1 missile coming out pretty quickly as well. It's going to be just a little bit behind the +1 missile of Solar, but if he can delay long enough, if this this 2-base push does kind of formulate a little bit, it seems like Rogue might be able to find some opportunity, of course, to get those upgrades finished and come out ahead. But there's still going to be a decent window there where Rogue is going to be possibly with fewer units and less, not having Roach speed finished as well, if Solar does want to pull the trigger aggressively.
Yep, so they're going to try to take his own 3rd. There's still some lings remaining from the early game, though. They're going to try and force a cancel here. They will get it. Can they get the drone as well? They can. Nice pick off there by Rogue. So he's up 6 workers, and his 3rd base is quicker. But Solar's Roach production has really started to ramp up here. He is not making drones. He has nowhere to send them. He's already on 2-base saturation. So he's just going to have a big army that he can move across the map in the near future.
Yeah, still hitting that Roach key. No drones in production just yet. Just getting a couple more Overlords to make sure he can produce as many units as possible. And then we'll see what he wants to go into after this. As the 3rd base does get thrown down and start to, finish up here. That's kind of a moment that you might want to just start to make some drones there, but so many Roaches is the play coming out of Solar. A couple of Lings might kill a Queen. That would be kind of crazy if it did. But this, of course, wants to get the information to know if there are any more drones getting sent over to this 3rd base or not. Looks like there will be on the back end, but there's still a large amount of Roaches coming Rogue's way. He's going to need to defend.
Oh, he's going to dive on these Ravagers to start the fight. They're so expensive. Great choice there. Gets 2 of them immediately. Trying to get the 3rd, but good micro by Rogue makes them waste so much DPS, running all the way to the main, whilst more of his Roaches flood out and his Roach speed finishes. Defender's advantage going to be big here, and I think Rogue has held that rather comfortably in the end. Solar going to try and cash out these Roaches for a few drones, but only 2 fall here. I'd say that was a successful defense by Rogue.
Yeah, very nice. He's going to, Rogue, that is, be down a few drones here, but I think he's definitely going to be pretty satisfied with that. Looks like actually 1-1 will be finishing for both players, so Solar with that double Evo was able to kind of catch up in that regard, and he will get the faster 2-2 started up as well. So should this game go a little bit longer, then Solar is actually going to be the one that's going to find himself ahead in the upgrades, and of course, if you can find those advantages in a mirror matchup, it's going to be extremely good for that player. But until then, Rogue still with a very large army supply, going to try to swing things over to Solar's side of the map.
Yeah, attacking from 2 flanks here. Now it's his turn to dive on the Ravagers of Solar. Those begin to fall. Roaches falling on both sides here. It looks like Rogue has a little bit more, but all these Roaches starting to get weak now. A bunch fall. Is that the tipping point here as these Roaches? There's a few left on the ramp, but that's it. He's cut off from the 3rd in between the rally points here. I think Rogue may just be doing it.
Yeah, those extra upgrades might have been a bit of a waste of resources too early from Solar, as there's just not enough units to defend this push right now. There's still more Roaches just streamlining across the map from Rogue. He senses weakness and is just going to try to push the issue right here, getting a couple more drones behind it just to make sure his economy is still set up nicely to continue if he needs to. But there's just so many Roaches coming out right now, and Solar's barely trickling a few out. He's getting just barely above 100 supply, unable to keep it there, and Solar's looking a bit frustrated as Rogue will be able to go up in the series yet again.
I love that split off of the 3 Roaches there just to focus fire some drones down as well. So if Solar just keeps running away with his Roaches, he's at least getting economic damage. Forces him to take the fight and closes out that game. Rogue now 2-1 up in the series.
Yeah, very nice defensive play that time from Rogue. Solar being the one to go for the 10 pool and then follow that up with the very dedicated Roach pressure. And yeah, Rogue was just on the defender's end the entire time, navigated the 10 pool situation very well, and then just kind of realized what was going on with that Roach attack as well. Just had enough units out defensively and was able to just swing it right across the map.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone do that really quick Evo +1 Carapace after the 10 pool defense, like using the next 100 gas on that. I've never seen someone do that specifically. I thought that was really cool. I think getting the cancel on the 3rd base was big as well, whilst his 3rd base went up unobstructed. So he just got a bit of a lead from that. He defends his worker lead, and then he counterattacks as Solar tries to catch up in the drones. Classic kind of ZVZ back and forth. Am I making drones? Am I making units? You know how it goes. We are going to be loading into the next map. It is going to be Exarch. Let's get into it. right, cast the chickens over. I'll talk first. It's fine. We're here in map number 4. Gemini just looked at me like, why aren't you talking? The game started already.
I was waiting to see if you would do it or not.
I did it. I'll do it.
That was good.
But yeah, we are here on Exarch. It's going to be cross spawns once again on one of the bigger maps. And we see there's no temple this game. That's the first thing we can say.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like Solar wants to run that 3 times in a row. That would be kind of crazy if that was just his stock standard for this particular matchup. But yeah, he's going to be going back into something a little bit more standard here, so doesn't want to try to go for that gamble yet again. Another 4-player map, 2 in a row here from this series, so this time going to be still going for an earlier pool, but not the earliest possible one that he can go for. What do you read into this? Is this him still just favoring trying to be a little defensive early game, or does he want to swing this with that early gas as well?
Yeah, I mean, going gas before pool usually signifies you're going to do something aggressive. You're going to have your Ling speed much quicker than your opponent, your Bane Nest much quicker, if that's what you decide to go into. So yeah, normally it's, 16 pool, then you get your hatch, and then you take the gas after the hatch. But this time he's gone for gas first, so yeah, it looks like something aggressive to me. He's going to follow up with a hatchery here. Rogue on the flip side took his hatch, his gas, and his pool. And yeah, basically all eyes on Solar right now. What exactly is he going to use the early gas for here? And just how aggressive does he want to get? Is it going to be like a full send it all in, or some kind of pressure with, with drones behind it? We'll have to see what the game plan is.
It feels like a lot of Zergs in the ZVZ matchup, at least nowadays, when they go for these early plays, it's generally a tempo play just to try and swing things into your favor, and then they're always kind of droning behind it. It doesn't seem like we have like these super crazy, just all-out all-ins anymore, at least from what I've seen so far in this tournament and some of the other ones. So yeah, we might be having this Baneling that's coming down here, but even so, we've had this kind of in the past in some of these other series where they try to be aggressive with the Ling Bane. They might try to, kill the hatchery or just kind of even the drone count out, and then you just drone behind it, and you're just expecting to be able to macro behind it as well. It's not like it's not like Wings of Liberty or something where it's just like, oh, I'm going to Ling Bane all in. If it doesn't work, then I'm just going to leave the game because I don't know how to transition.
Yeah, it's not like my ladder games where every Zerg I play is like, I'm going to stop at 19 workers and make Ling Bane and try and hide it. And then morph Bane's out on the map, that kind of thing. We do see some Lings from Rogue making their way across the map here. They would love to get a scout of what is going on as... Okay, actually, hold on a minute. Solar is on 17 drones, making nothing but Lings. So, yeah, it looks like he might just be sending it here. He's morphing some Banes out on the map. I'm not sure where those 2 Lings are exactly. Doesn't get into the main, but he does see the, lack of drones there at the natural.
He saw nothing transferring either, which feels a little suspicious from Rogue's point of view. He sees the Lings running across the map now as well. He's going to see these 2 Banelings coming on in, so Rogue knows exactly what's coming his way at this point. Trying to evacuate the natural, going to be using the drones of the Queens to try and bloody block for just a moment. Trying to use the Queens to focus fire those Banelings. We'll be able to get one of them and the second one. Not the juiciest hits, but the follow-up with the Lings. We'll be able to kill 6 workers, and there's still plenty more where that came from.
Yeah, he's morphing in more Banes as well. This damage is becoming critical now. 6 drones have fallen, a ton of Lings, another Queen goes down, and Solar may have just found himself in a very commanding position. There's 1 Bane, it can't kill these drones, but it can soften them all up. Or go for the Lings! So many Lings just went down.
That is a lot of Lings to get with that 1 Baneling. That's some excellent value coming out from Solar. Tries to get a couple more drones, but 11 is a great haul right there. There's a couple more coming across the map as well, as just a few drones are in the production tab for Solar. He's still sending a lot more Lings right now. Doesn't want to just end this pressure with that. He wants to continue this and see if he can end it really quickly.
Yeah, Rogue even losing an Overlord there. That's not a scout or anything. That's just a bad rally, and there's a drone going across the map. Bit of a nightmare situation here for Rogue. He finds himself on just the 15 workers to the 24 of Solar. Eventually he drones once the big damage is done, and Rogue in a desperate situation here.
Yeah, it looks like Solar's maybe anticipating a follow-up all-in. Oh, never mind. That's going to be that. I was going to say maybe he was anticipating like a follow-up counterattack or something like that, but it looked like he was just going aggressive with the Lings anyways. So yeah, great early damage there. We were wrong, I guess. My analysis was incorrect. He did just kind of go all in with that one.
I mean, with the gas first, it's like you got to do something with it, or you're just behind in drones, right? You got to make use of it. At least equalize the drone count or get
Yeah.
a quicker third or something. Like you say, you can often drone behind that. But that game, Solar just said, nope, we are staying on 17 drones. We are massing Lings. Couple Banelings in there, and we are sending it.
Yes.
And he gets the dub.
Seems like that's still a possible rotation. So good to know. Good to know that with these Zerg players still can go balls to the
Sneaky
wall a
Zerg,
little bit.
sneaky
man.
Zerg, yeah.
You never know what's going to be cooking up over there. So yeah. Very nice game by Solar. That's 2-2, right? It's going to even things up. Yeah, very close series so far.
Yep. All right, guys. You can check out the Tasteless merch over at tastelessstrategies.com. You get a discount if you sign up on the Patreon. We got hoodies, T-shirts, game-related gear, mouse pads, mugs, all the good stuff like that. Check it out. Get yourself some StarCraft or Tastos' swag. And yeah, this series is all tied up. I think we are going to have a longer one on our hands here. It's all up in the air as to who is going to come out on top. We will find out shortly as we cut to a short break. Don't go anywhere.
You know, Clem, he kind of played into that perfectly. He's like, oh, well, Cyril, he's going to be able to 4-base, he won't be able to do much more than that. Let's just fight him with Battle Mech, and that was a clean Game 1 win.
Nicely done. This is a best of 5, so we've got plenty more games ahead here. But right now, you know, Cyril, who I think most would agree is the strongest player in this tournament, is down 1 game here to Clem.
Yeah, Clem with a really cool opening there in game number 1. And I'm just wondering what he's going to go to here in game number 2 and game number 3, because I imagine we're going to have kind of like a 50-50 split between going for these CC first openings and going for some kind of barracks opening, because you don't want to risk things too much, just constantly going for the CC first. We have seen players like Shin, like Solar, who aren't afraid of going for these early pushes. And I know Cyril's not afraid of it either. So Clem here in game number 2, going to be going for that mix-up, playing a little bit more safe. It's a Rax first opening.
Yeah, so a very different flavor game coming from Clem here. We don't really know what Cyril's going to be doing yet. We're going to need a little bit more time for the game to develop to see what he's got in store for us. But, yeah, interesting. Again, you know, with the Command Center cost change, it's so massively impactful. Pretty cool to see that 3CC into mech game for that. I'm curious. You know, with one thing about Terran versus Zerg is that mech's always there, but the question is, like, how often is it actually the go-to, right? Like, I feel like there's been periods where we're even in tournaments where it's like more than 50% in the history of StarCraft 2. There's been iterations of the game where it's like this is more common, and then there's periods where it's super rare.
Yeah, and I think Fear and Faith is just kind of the perfect map for it. It makes sense to go into that composition there on that map because, you know, there's all these different paths that Cyril also needs to spread his creep down.
Yeah.
It's like 3 or 4 different avenues, and that takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of queen energy. Plus, again, it's hard to take that 5th base. So as Terran, you just want to keep fighting. You want to keep in their base. You want to keep map control. And Battle Mech is one of those compositions that is just really good at constantly trading, even with something like Roach Ling or Burrowed Roaches we saw there from Cyril. But I don't think we're going to see another Battle Mech game from Clem here, at least not on Voidstorm. I think it's much more likely to be, you know, your typical standard macro TVZ play with a bio composition. But I am curious how much more we're going to see Battle Mech or Mech in general from Clem. I mean, we even had a game where Bjorn went Mech yesterday, which is kind of unheard of.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. Yeah, I guess we're going to see, you know, what is the go-to. He did get a drone kill there, right?
Yeah, that was perfect.
So used to nothing happening when the Reaper comes out. That was kind of crazy. So Cyril down, 1 drone here. Yeah, look at that.
Even with the slightly slower Reaper build time, Clem's still able to make that magic happen. It's an early drone.
Yeah, just going to try to take out that creep tumor. Doesn't quite damage it down enough. And, yeah, I mean, this is going to be basically like a 1-1-1 tech with an expand behind it.
Yeah, taking all the way up into the starport already. No 3rd command center here for Clem just yet. Cyril finally drops that 3rd hatchery and was able to get that drone over there without the Reaper actually spotting it. And now setting up, ooh, a nice little block there.
Oh, what are you crazy, Clem? Clem?
What are you doing?
Clem, you're mad. What is happening?
Oh, it can't go. It can't jump back
stuck.
down. Clem was shaking his head. It could not jump back down, I think.
Yeah, no, Clem looked super irritated by that. So the Reaper got vertigo?
It's got a fear of Heist, man. I can go up, I can't come back down. Is that a quirk here on Voidstorm that you can get into the main base, but you can't get back down? I actually haven't seen it. I mean, Clem...
At first, I thought he was like trying to style on him.
Yeah.
But no, 100% he couldn't get it down. I wonder what that is.
Well, I noticed earlier when he killed the drone, it looked like he was pathing the Reaper to try and get out of main base on that side, but it juked back into the Lings and almost fell because of it. And now Clem, again, at the same spot, was trying to get the Reaper out. I think it literally just could not path down that ledge. Huh.
Okay, so, from here, it's going to be the Banshee tech here for Terran. So it's going to be Bio into Banshee. We'll see if the Banshees can get much damage done.
Hellions exerting a little bit of map control right now, trying to keep the creep spread as contained as possible. The Zero gets in with one Ling and sees basically everything. And I think the barracks timing here on the front, Cero's a very smart player. He should be able to see this.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for waiting. We're tied up 2-2 right now.
Yeah, what a series it's been. It's just the pace has suddenly exploded. It's gotten a lot quicker. The games are super short. Solo does not want to play a long game, it looks like.
No, I mean, how much longer can he do this, I wonder? Best of 7, I mean, that's a lot of games you got to win. That's a lot of time to kind of pick someone apart and figure out, what quirks they have. But, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see.
On the flip side, he only needs 2 more, right? He's just got to make it work 2 more times. So, I mean, we'll see if he wants to keep doing it or if we might actually get a, long macro game. It feels unlikely, but who knows? I like that we've got kind of all the big maps in here. We've got, we had Fear and Faith, Exarch. The next one's going to be Old Sun Temple, which we are going to be jumping into right now.
Let's get into it, guys. The winner fighting for that last spot at BlizzCon. Who's going to take it? Solar and Rogue here. We've got, in this case, Solar down here in the bottom left. Both players actually in the bottom. And he's going to go for a 10 pool.
Another early pool out of Solar. He's being very aggressive in this series. Obviously, you can play 10 pool as a macro build, but he's definitely being the aggressor, being the person to put on some pressure here. And both these guys just need 2 more here to close out this series now.
And the Overlords are going to, I think they're going to see each other. Their vision should intersect enough that they both see each other, which is
it's like a Venn diagram right here.
Yeah. They should.
Oh, no way.
I really put myself on the spot here. Okay, he sees him,
just sees him, yeah.
I mean, that's good for the 10 pool player because then you know exactly where to send your links. But a preemptive pool here from Rogue. And, generally in ZVZ, if one guy makes a pool and then the other guy makes like a few more drones and makes their pool, the guy that made the later spawning pool is just in a better spot.
Yeah, I think Rogue has kind of identified that Solar's going for all these super early pools.
Yeah.
Going to be going for the pool first instead of the hatch. It makes sense, and there's a very quick Baneling nest coming down for Solar before Ling speed. So this is kind of the build that Lambo showed to us in his set for the first time, where you skip the Ling speed, you get about 4 Banes, you pressure as much as you can, and you try to kill that hatchery, and then eventually you'll probably take yours behind it.
So he's sending his Lings across the map now. Now he did start a hatch, so we'll see if he can actually save this or not. But yeah, the Baneling's nest, I mean, this is a real commitment to damage here. We got to see how much or how little Rogue's going to be taking here.
Yeah, the Lings do make their way to the hatch right now, starting to work on that. The drones are pulled. Spine on the top of the ramp here. It's going to protect his main base. The Lings and drones will be able to defend this part of the attack, but it's the Banelings that are the real threat here.
And this is a good adjustment. He actually morphs a little bit further away, so you don't necessarily know how all in this is. You might think the hatch is still salvageable. The Spine is going to continue on. He doesn't cancel or anything like that. He's going to see the Lings.
Ooh.
What?
Okay, the Bane's just move commanding around. One of them is set off. That's a very precious Bane. Gonna zone out the rest of these Lings with the second one. The Queen comes down to help though. That's gonna be very good for Solo. The Spine gets a shot off from the high ground as well.
I mean, Rogue's done a really good job holding this. He is gonna send the Spine down here. That does make a little bit of instability here while you're in between these moves. He needs to get that Spine planted right away. Now the Lings are very low as well, so you can right-click them down with the Queen. He is going to go ahead and go for the Queen kill here, and the Queen will end up falling. There's not enough Lings there to tank for that and get in the way.
Yeah, he actually gets that Queen. That's very nice in the early game. The Queens are so expensive now. So losing one of those and having to remake it is a big win. Solo will be expanding behind this himself, and the word count is 15 to 15. Solo already has 100 gas for his Ling speed, whereas Rogue has not mined any gas yet, so he's kind of ahead tech-wise. But just going to be a drone or two behind, and slightly behind mineral-wise, it looks like.
Yeah, the Lings are going to come down now. He's going to go for this Queen. I don't think he's going to have... Oh, no, he actually will have enough damage here. These other two Lings are going to come. The Bane hatches and detonates immediately. And the Queen goes down, so eye for an eye here for the Queen kills.
Yeah, both sides taking a Queen loss, having to spend the 175 to remake those. Ling speed on the way now for Solar. Still no gas at all for Rogue. He's kind of playing gasless here in the early game. He already has a Spine. Going to be making some extra drones here as he tries to take a work lead. Now he's going to go 2 gases, and this usually leads into a Roach build where you skip the Ling phase and try to get a wall up at the front. So we'll have to see if that's what he does want to do.
Yeah, the 2 gases right now for Rogue. One in the main, one at the natural. You know, make it a little bit harder to truly scout, you know, just how heavy the tacking is going to be here. He does get the Roach Warren over here onto the side to begin that wall in that you were talking about, Sturgeon.
Yeah, look at the difference in the worker count here. 12 extra workers for Rogue. He's navigated this early game so well and come out extremely ahead. He does have to spend a few drones on the, you know, making that wall and, you know, getting these Evos, the Roach Warren, that kind of thing. But yeah, Solar's not droning at all. He's just stopped at 21. He's making nothing but Lings right now. He's going to try and kick down the front door here.
Yeah, I mean, basically Solar's concluded that like this is not a game that he wants to be in for much longer. If he can end it, he's going to have all these Lings come out and do damage. But you know, all those Lings are making, they aren't drones, which is only going to bury him further if he doesn't do fatal damage over here with this attack.
And that drone is a fake, by the way. He sent a drone to the third base like, hey, look at me, I'm playing normal, I'm taking a third base.
I love resources.
I love macro. I love macro games. No, he's making nothing but Lings and hiding them in the natural here. Solar playing so sneaky right now. He's going to morph 5 Banes at the third base location of Rogue. Rogue has no vision of this. Now he knows the attack is coming.
Yeah, and he's going to try to obliterate the wall in here. And the only thing the Rogue can do for now is probably try to sandbag this even further. So he's going to plug that up. He's going to move the Spine down here. The Spine, while being moved, is not going to be doing damage. And there are so many Lings up here in the front.
Yeah, I like that he strengthens the wall, but not having the Spine DPS might hurt him. The Banes actually can't get their connections off on the buildings. Finally, they do. They try to stream through, but there's so many roaches. I think that's still a wall. Is there a tiny gap next to the Queen?
No, that's airtight. He cannot get through there.
Oh, wow.
And the attack is basically failed. G! Only one G. Good is what he said. No game. Good.
Good job. Good game. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, perfect hold by Roku. Now, this is what we were talking about with the best of 7, right? Is that's a lot of games to get through. Rogue's made some very good adjustments for what he needs to do against that kind of pull. Now the question is going to be, as the series continues on, will Solar actually 10 pull again, or does he kind of change his play style up to something, you know, maybe more proper, I guess, not cheesy?
Yeah, I feel like Rogue is just respecting the aggressive potential now, and, you know, he's not like going for a really quick layer, double upgrades or anything like that.
Yeah.
That game he stops just before 40 drones, and he's just making roaches, staying safe. I don't know. I feel like Solar needs to switch it up now. Like, it's worked a couple times.
Yeah, I think.
But if you keep doing the same thing again and again,
well, maybe you can try to do something that would be stronger against like a kind of late pool like that. Like he goes hatch first. You know, there's kind of this like circular countering in Zerg openings where, you know, the really aggro play beats the really greedy play, but the really greedy play beats the kind of anti-aggro play, I guess, for lack of better terms. Yeah. So let's see what he's going to do. As we're tearing through these maps right now. We're going to go to Game 6 now on the map Necropolis. Game 6. Now, if Rogue wins, that's our last game. He'll go on to BlizzCon, and we are going to have a crazy good finals with that. You could not ask for a better ZVZ.
Yeah, the first Rogue Serral match in the winners finals was absolutely bonkers. Really, really good set. Best CVZ I've watched in so long. I'm trying to think of one that's kind of been on that level, but it's the best one I've seen in so long. Would recommend watching it if you haven't. And we might be getting a repeat if Rogue can win this game. He is on match point.
And if Rogue wins here and then Rogue wins on stage at BlizzCon with Artosis casting.
Oh my God. The prophecy.
It's, yeah. I can't wait for him to just get up there and let everybody hear it. He is the GOAT. And Team Liquid, by the way, will write an apology for their... Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I mean, I think, again, though, if Solar takes it, that's going to be hype too.
Yeah, it would be unexpected.
And, if that happens, I'm going to just get ahead of it right now. I think Solar's the GOAT. Okay, so that way I can take the credit if Solar takes it.
Yeah. You got to pick your goats.
Yeah.
It's like horse racing. You got to bet on the right goat.
Bet on the right goat. Yeah.
Whoever wins BlizzCon is the GOAT until next year.
That article picking Maro versus I've never seen this many people talk about an article in StarCraft ever.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have Solar right now with a sorry, did Rogue, can we get a shot of Rogue's base? Or not? Can Mapu hear my casting?
Yeah.
Oh, he can. Okay, all right, yeah.
Yeah, so he did go for the pool first.
I thought maybe he couldn't. I'd be like,
afterwards.
that'd be crazy because I've said a lot of things assuming he could hear me. Okay, so yeah, all right. So his pool is already done, and Solar's just now finishes up. Both players expanding.
Yeah, no crazy early pools or Balin shenanigans in this game. Both kind of economic openers. Obviously, Hatch first, a little bit more economic than
this
the
is
pool.
a what we call an honorable game between two honorable Zergs right now.
So far indeed, yes.
No dirtbag openings this time around.
I would like to see one more kind of long late game if the players
we haven't had long games here, really. It's been a lot of really sharp timing attacks here that kind of drive the game to an end. So for now, we need to see what kind of techs are going to be. Is there going to be a third base? Is it going to be like layer tech and turtling? And is there going to be a timing? Or perhaps both players just play a very, very kind of reactive macro game, and we do get, kind of a crazy end game here.
Yeah, indeed. We do see Solo going for the Evo Chamber. Probably going to go into the fast carapace upgrade. And oh my God, Rogue is going layer before Ling speed.
Wow.
Before anything. He's just spending his first gas on that layer.
And Solar's going to go for the armor upgrade.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Well, this layer is going to finish super fast. Now, the Queens are coming out here. I believe they're here to kill off the Overlord. Whenever you see this, you always got to go like, oh, are you trying to hide something? He did move the drone under where the vision wasn't. So this is, in fact, not going to be anything like a timing. Although, whenever you lose, the one or two Overlords you have outside their base, you are in a more of a guessing game, right? There's a lot more ambiguity about what's happening or could happen.
Yeah, you kind of lose your vision. As the Zerg, you rely on those Overlords a lot. And also, it's expensive. 100 minerals to remake that in the early game is not cheap. But also, supply blocked him for just a moment there. But his layer is already finished at 4 minutes 20. 4:20. He's got 3 gases on the way. What are we going to see here? We've got +1 missiles. Not sure if that's a real upgrade or just a fake. Okay, it is going to be roach speed as well.
Yeah, the missile upgrade here. Okay, let's see.
So yeah, going to be a very, very fast roach speed. Oh, he's cancelled it. He's cancelled roach speed.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Is he going to go Spire here? Like he doesn't have the gas right now. Is he just going to send it without roach speed? I'm so confused what he's doing right now. He's remaking it.
He's starting it again. Like, oh, now he cancels it again. Oh, okay, he started it again.
You'll never guess what I'm going to do now.
Armor's almost done.
Yeah, okay, so Solo's going for his own layer, but obviously his roach speed will be very far away from completion.
Yeah, the Lings run up.
Oh, okay, no, so he wanted to not let Solo see that he's getting the very quick roach speed. So he cancels it and starts remaking it once the Lings were out of vision
again.
I guess
the idea is it upgrades kind of fast, so you can cancel it and start it, and it doesn't throw the whole tempo of the rush off, right?
Yeah. Okay, finally we have a Spire going down on the back of this. So he's going to have Roaches with speed, a Muta follow-up, and then he's also getting his third base as well. Solar's third's been up for quite a while. He has 4 extra drones, so a little bit more income. He's also getting a gas there. Yeah, big income advantage for Solar here, as we see. And the Changeling cannot get in. He does need to spot that Spire at some point. But the Overseer's actually taken a lot of damage already. I'm not sure if that can still afford to dive and scout this Spire.
The Spire was above the minerals in the back, right?
Yeah. Is he going to actually commit? No.
I'm
no,
sorry.
So the natural,
Never
yeah.
mind, yeah. Okay, so it didn't matter anyways. Yeah, well, that Spire it's getting closer and closer to being done. We can see there's a lot of gas banked up here.
Yeah. Saving some gas to get those mutas out. Another Overlord falls for Rogue. A little bit unfortunate there, but he's going to have a big surprise factor here with these mutas, I feel like. There's already Roaches with speed. That takes a lot of gas, and he's got the Spire behind this. Let's see if Solo's able to put the pieces together here. He's making a lot of Roaches himself, and his Roach speed is done now.
Yeah, so the mutas are going to be coming out now. And we have Solar teching into Ravagers. Now, with Solar, he can't attack Rogue at all if there's no mutas, unless he's willing to basically try to trade out and basically like trample the defenses and get through that to the drones and do damage. So we'll see if that happens. But as far as I can tell, he doesn't know. He might suspect, right? Some of these games, even if you don't scout it, you kind of know, all the branches in the possible in the build. Excuse me. But we'll see how he behaves. Okay, so the mutas have been revealed now.
Yeah, I think Solo's actually still going to send it. He's making nothing but Lings behind this, and whilst mutas are out, they will kill all of this eventually, but it takes a very long time. Gonna go to work on these Ravagers first. Super expensive units. Picking those off is very nice. But does Rogue have a big enough ground army to actually hold this push?
Oh my god, the angle, it's funny, he had this wall in earlier, but now things are kind of stuck outside, right? He can't really get back through there. And Solar's just gonna have such a presence on the ramp. I mean, just tearing through everything. Now, he is going to have a couple reinforcements on the outside. The mutas are still doing damage. The Queens on the far right are still here chipping away. The entrance is still plugged up.
Oh my god, Rogue might actually be holding this. The Roaches couldn't get through onto the work line or anything like that. So if they trade Roaches for Roaches and he has mutas left, that's a very good spot for him. And the last Roaches of Solar are forced to retreat here. I can't believe he held that, excuse me.
I actually thought it was going to go really badly. When I saw him on the outside, I'm like, oh, well, that's the worst.
I thought he was dead, like when he got caught on the ramp and surrounded by everything.
Yeah. Honestly, maybe it was actually better that he was out there because everything could fight on the right side, too. Maybe there's another way to look at it. I don't know. So now we've got mutas basically just picking off these Overlords on the map. The Lings are going to run in here and do a little bit of damage, but Solar is not wavering. He's making a lot more Hydras here. The worker count, Rogue's like ahead, but I wouldn't say he's like ahead so much that it is, well, he's actually making a couple more drones here. So, maybe he'll get even further. He's going to have 9 more drones hatching.
Yeah, he just fired up a bunch more. Looks like he may take the income advantage for the first time in a long time here. In the last 5 minutes. But, I mean, having these mutas out, being able to clear all the Overlords of Solar, put him in the dark, take your 4th base unscouted. These are all really big things in the favor of Rogue. And Solar's going to try to make a Lurker transition here.
Yeah, Lurker tech inbound. Is Rogue going to have an opportunity to try to hit? It's now 70 drones to 59. Solar's basically just kind of sitting back and trying to develop into that next phase of the game. This is, it's always rough when you do that big, sharp timing attack like that, and it's basically perfectly held. You're in a pretty difficult spot from there on out. But, Rogue has basically won the fight and didn't do a counterattack, unlike a lot of these other games we've seen so far, which is like, it's blow for blow. It's a back and forth. He basically just decided to balloon his economy out even better. And I think that actually puts a little bit of pressure on Solar here, because Solar either has to play catch-up by expanding or try to do another attack. Generally, if your first attack fails, your second attack is not going to do as well, right? You're already behind. It should be hard to kind of math out an advantage with that.
The first Lurkers morphing here for Solar. He's going to need them if he's able to hold this push. There's a lot of Roach Ravager moving across the map right now. Will Rogue actually decide to commit to this? It seems like he won't. And I'm sure if he knew the Lurker tech was coming, he would probably be a little bit more aggressive, try to pick some of those off with Biles, make them burrow.
If you can hit right before Lurker Tech's done, it's really good.
Yeah.
But, you know, now there's a couple ways Rogue can play this. Rogue's ahead, supply-wise. He can rely on counterattacks. He's going to tech into his own Hydra Tech as well. And, you know, Lurker Tech is good. It's hard to ever push across the map if you're in a position like Rogue's because he's already outside your base. So the Lurkers are kind of, you know, forced into a very defending role, which means taking this 4th base is going to be hard. It does feel like the walls are kind of closing in on Solar. He's not dead, but it's a really tough game to play from here. And usually Rogue is really strong in these kind of positions, right? Like, he's very unlikely to overextend. He's very unlikely, like, to feed into the opponent.
Yeah, Rogue is a late-game ZVZ god, which he showed against Serral yesterday. I could not believe the level of games there. The Nidus Lurker harass, the Burrow Roach harass, the Overlord drops. Like, he was just using all these different methods. Niduses were popping up left, right, and center. These mutas trying to get some work done. He's actually going to fight into the Lurkers here. I'm not sure about this from Rogue. Tries to take the engagement, will have to back out, but actually loses quite a lot of units there.
Yeah, he is going to be driven back. He's going to have to spend that supply a little bit differently. We've kind of a flip here. This is Solar's real opportunity here. He needs to drill through Rogue's position right now. Rogue is going up to a 5th and a 6th base.
Wow.
Whereas Solar is just now taking his very first 4th.
Yeah, and I mean, Rogue has no Lurkers right now. His Lurker Den is about 70% done. And Solar does have Lurkers. If he can get them into a good offensive position, it could be very strong. He split his army into 2 kind of forces right now. This force of, you know, Hydra, Roach, and a Lurker or 2 on this side more. On the other side, he's going to go for a little pincer maneuver here as he starts to set up everything and move in.
Yeah, he's hitting in 2 different angles that appear to both be failing. Rogue is over here on the left winning this fight. Meanwhile, on the right, so this is done. This fight's concluded. Over here, it does not seem that Solar is able to advance at all. I don't know that he's going to be able to break any of these positions. The Lurkers are so far away, they're not complimenting. Well, not even complimenting. I mean, they're not even doing anything in the fight.
Yeah, they are between all these Zerg bases, though, so Rogue will have to clear them out eventually, and great engagement by him. Going to take out all these Lurkers. Solar making a ton more units behind this, but actually, is that fight... I thought he was winning that fight, but it's suddenly turning around here. More reinforcements showing up for Solar. He's taking a big supply lead here. Where is all the army that is streaming across the map right now? There's a Lurker at the other base, the 4th base of Rogue 2. And yeah, things are getting chaotic. GG, wow.
Yeah, Solar going up against a brick wall there, just not able to do anything. Cool way to see Rogue end that. He basically held off the push and then did not engage.
The Solar one.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Excuse me, sorry,
Yeah.
Solar one, yeah, excuse me, yeah.
Yeah, it was wild. I thought like Rogue was cleaning that up.
Yes.
And then suddenly Solar just had more and more units coming across the map, and wild end to that game.
Crazy. Okay. What does that put us at? What is the score now?
3-3.
3-3. Okay, yeah.
Wow.
So we are tied up. We're getting like the best possible ZVZs we could get.
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
Down to the wire, game 7. Dude.
Yes. So we have one more game. Guys, consider signing up for the Patreon. Patreon.com/Revive SC2. When we started this, you know, we wanted, to be honest, guys, I got kind of tired of waiting for other people to, or will we have events, will we not have events? I've been doing this forever. You know, I started out as a competitive player. I moved to Korea, I started casting. And eventually I'm like, okay, I know how these tournaments work. I know how the production works. I know the tournament rules. I'm tired of waiting to see if other people are going to be doing StarCraft events or not. We'll just do our own. And so as long as you guys are supporting us, we're going to keep doing it. The more you can support, the more you can engage with the tournament itself. So you can vote on maps, you can vote on players, replays, all that kind of stuff. And we're going to go to a break. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, the final game of the evening.
Damaged on those mutas, but not a crisis by any means here for Serral.
Yeah, Cyril continuing to pave his side of the map with creep and hatcheries over here. Clem is beginning to push down here again. This is going to be a harder angle. Not this one, but the one shot we had before there. There's so much creep over here to try to hack and saw your way through before you can even get to the hatchery target.
But does Cyril actually have enough banelings? He's morphing in 13 more right now. I see some are over here down by that third base, but Clem's also attacking in the bottom left side of the map. Lifts up in 3 medevacs trying to escape this situation. It's a very taxing situation for both these players. You know, you gotta be able to deal with the push there on the bottom side and the right side. And with explosive army compositions like this one, especially, you know, like the Mutalisks, they're very glass cannon units, kind of like these Marines. They can't sustain a lot of damage. One miss micro on either side could just prove to be fatal, as that Baneling is going to connect, or the Widowmine, excuse me, connects with a ton of Banelings right now. Marines low on HP, trying to get away.
Oh my god, they're so low. If these mutas can actually catch the medevacs here too, it's going to be devastating. Yeah, and he is going to take all of this out. Meanwhile, there's another push here at 6 o'clock. The already bruised hatchery is going to start dropping HP really quickly if this army can't get over here in time.
Oh, so many Widowmines.
Ooh, he might. Okay, he targets really, really well. I think there's just enough mutas that in Banes that he can win this. Yeah, he's going to be able to drive that back.
Yeah, but Clem behind this, he's taken to 4th base. He's adding in a 5th command center, so he's not fully committed to trying to end the game right now. He's developing his economy quite nicely back at home. It's actually 81 SCVs to 81 drones, so economically, we're very even between these two players. It's really just who is going to be taking these trades more cost effectively. And you can see right now the units lost tab. It is near identical between these two. A real tug of war as Clem once more pushes over here on the right side.
Okay, he's coming back. He's going to chase down this infantry, and this is going to get nothing done. He's going to have to try to pull away. Zerg doesn't have an opening yet to really do a counterattack. Well, he's going to actually hit with these mutas. I didn't realize there's just one turret over here, so I completely take back what I said. His counterattack is going to do really well over here at this 3rd base.
Suddenly Claus is done now, so Mine's going to burrow very quickly over here. Cyril has to be careful. Does not want to allow Clown to get some big connections on top of those Mutalisks. Muta's in high enough number that with +1 flyer attack, they can still snipe down these barracks in a hurry. Some nice moves coming out of Cyril, who's working his way towards Hive Tech. Trying to get additional upgrades right now. That Evolution Chamber working overtime. He's already gotten +2 Carapace, now working on +2 melee attack here for our Zerg player. And it's going to be critical that Cyril continues to revitalize the creep spread in the center. He's just now adding tumors all the way on the bottom left side, but having creep makes the defense so much easier with Ling Baneling.
Yeah, he's going to be able to chase this back now. Good pickups. Without the mutas here, you know, you can't actually go for the full punish. You can't go for the kill move on that. You know, Cyril's been doing a good job holding off these pushes, but Terran is starting to get pretty big and scary. I don't know if Cyril knows about the space at the top right, but he needs to find out pretty quickly.
Even if Cyril were to find out about it, though, I'm not sure that he can really do much. I think he's probably just assuming that Clem is continuing to build up behind it. But unless you have the eco to throw away on a bunch of Banelings and just run them into a planetary fortress, I don't see how you're going to be able to take down those expansions. And so for Cyril right now, the main priority is just trying to defend the bases that he's already got. As Clem pushes once more here on the right side, and I almost think this is kind of Clem baiting Cyril and pulling the entire army over here so that he can snipe the bases in the bottom left.
Yeah, Clem's doing a great job here. The question, oh! Whoa. That was insane. Okay, so this hatchery is going to go down.
I mean, that Widowmine must have gotten like 20 Banelings. Yeah. That was a huge hit by Clem.
You ever seen these like videos where like it shows exactly how much damage like a certain shot does? Like you can tell how big the Widowmine shot is because of that. And now Cyril's going to take out the 12 o'clock base. So Cyril, I think, is actually still not scouted the top right. He basically went for what he thought was the most vulnerable exposed base. Oh my God, and that hatchery goes down as well.
A lot of expansions falling. 3 bases in total, 2 of Cyril's and 1 of Clem's as Cyril pushes into the natural expansion, thinks better of it, now retreats back. And he might check the top right corner now. Oh, especially seeing an SCV coming in from that side. That has to build some suspicion.
Okay, he's gonna, yeah, now he sees it. This is always a weird moment in StarCraft when you think the game's in a certain state because you didn't realize it base. Shut up, Tasteless from the past. Tasteless in the present is here now to cast these games for you guys.
The enlightened Tasteless from the
right.
future.
That guy back there didn't know anything.
What a loser.
Not like the one you're looking at now. We're going to go to the last game. This is it. It's going to all come down to this to find out who's going to face off against Cyril at BlizzCon, the biggest stage for StarCraft 2 in the whole year.
It's very exciting, man. I'm very curious to see who's going to make it. Both these players seem like they are up to the task. They have been just at each other's throats this entire series, this entire day. And yeah, either one of them is going to be a great opponent for Cyril.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I got to say, I had a little bit of bias towards Rogue. I kind of just thought, especially after seeing how he played against Cyril, he's the guy. He seems to be, able to pull it off. But Solar clearly has gone even up to now. Solar doing a lot of 10 pulls in those games. Rogue seemed to basically counter that pretty well. We went into a very different game for game number 6. And we're ready to start our game. The final map will be on Rorschach to decide who will go to BlizzCon. Let's go. All right, guys, we're going to go into game number 7. This is it. We've been getting a lot of close ZVZs, by the way. Definitely a treat. ZVZ, the matchup to be the best at if you're going to win Season 6 of the RSL. We're looking at Solar right now. There it is, the pool on 10.
11, actually.
11.
Ooh, slightly different.
Now it's 10 after the drone goes away.
Oh, yeah.
Was it always pool on 11?
No, he did do a 10
He
pull.
did do a 10 pull earlier? Okay.
He might have done one 11 pull earlier as well,
Yeah,
now that
okay.
I'm thinking about it. But there definitely was one where it was a 10 pull, so slight difference there.
So now we got to pivot over to Rogue and see what he's going to do. We're going to have the Overlord's kiss here in the middle. Oh, maybe not, actually.
Yeah, there's slightly...
Could be an Overlord high five.
Yeah, it's good chance there.
Oh, they're way
They're
off.
very far away.
They're very far away.
More like an Overlord side glance.
Yeah. Okay, well, Rogue has gone for hatchery first. Is he going to get gas before pool? The pool for Solar's done. He starts the Lings. And we're still waiting. He's still droning. He's still droning.
Ooh, it's going to be a late spawning pool. Oh, and a
and a
gas
gas.
first
Oh.
as well.
Oh,
And
he's
there's
gonna get
the
a Baneling
Baneling Nest. Oh my god, this is going to be some nice aggression coming out of Solar yet again. Is it all
Solar's-
going to come down to another Ling Bane all
He's
in?
thinking about palm trees. He's thinking about that beautiful LA weather. He's thinking about the orc statue that'll probably be at BlizzCon.
Yeah, his favorite thing to go and see
Whenever
he goes
loves
there.
that orc statue. He's got the link. Lings are inbound. Rogue sees it. Rogue has seconds to respond here. His pool is like 80% done.
Yeah, this hatchery is going to be able to buy some time, of course. The Lings need to respect that. They need to make sure they at least kill that. If you try to go for the killing move and go into the main base, then there's a great chance that you don't actually get that damage, and then the hatchery just survives, and then you're in a terrible position. So you have to kill this off, and he will do just that. Spinecrawler is being made in the main base, along with the Baneling Nest in response from Rogue, using that gas for that way. And the Banelings are going to start to get morphed here for Solar as well as the hatchery gets placed down at home. He's going to try to trap these Lings that are spawning as well.
Oh, they slip out.
Nicely done to keep those alive.
Okay, he gets a trap on that one. Wait,
Yeah.
he detonated a Baneling on the building?
Yeah, he used both of them to kill the kill the hatchery. I think it's okay.
Is it okay? All right, I don't know.
guess,
I
yeah.
thought maybe you want to go for more damage with up the ramp or something. So, Rogue, he actually positioned everything in his base. Even when the Baneling's nest, it's like there is kind of a wall. Solar's going to continue to kill the Ling. So basically, Solar is not trying to end that. I mean, using the Banelings to kill that hatchery. He is going to go for more damage. He's going to run up. The ramp is plugged up. The Queen is soaking up a lot of damage. The Queen is surrounded, and the Bane is targeted by the Spine. The Spine basically mutes the ability to get up the ramp and really do anything. There isn't... Oh, whoa. He canceled the Baneling's nest.
Ooh, I do like that, actually. I think he kind of realized that the aggression from Solar has ceased at this point. Solar's going into drones and a hatchery himself. He hasn't Rogue hasn't seen any extra Lings going across, so he's going to do the same response that he did earlier in the series with that fast +1 Carapace. That worked out really well. So That's a nice little alteration there from Rogue, realizing he wasn't in any immediate danger, knowing that he was going to be able to defend. He does lose the Queen, of course, which is a little unfortunate, but still, he's going to be able to adjust there, going for that fast upgrade and then going into the Bane Nest afterwards.
Okay. So he's going to try to hit with the timing off this armor upgrade. And we'll see if Rogue can flip it. Right now, Solar is ahead. You know, he's got that second hatchery up. He's going to have drones coming out a little bit quicker. Rogue sends his Lings in here. There is a Queen to defend. He's going to loop around to the side. He does not really commit onto a drone. Never mind.
Put yourself on the spot yet again,
Yeah,
Tasteless.
We'll make third base now. Oh, no, never mind. I shouldn't have done that either.
All right, Ling's going to get chewed away for now. The Queen and Lings are more than enough to deal with that. Drone count's basically equal at this point. Solar is supply block for just a moment, actually, waiting for a couple of those Overlords, and then he'll have the next choice of if he wants to go into more drones or if he's going to start to flood out with some extra Lings, and it will be the drones. So, yeah, Solar's going to try and take this into a macro game for a little bit longer at least. Of course, he could try to pivot at any point, but lots of more drones hitting the field.
Dude,
he really wants
he's
to get
making
there.
11 drones. Wow. Okay, well, the armor upgrade's almost done. Does this lead into some kind of timing? It doesn't really feel like it, does it? Solar's going to go right into the lair. You know, the armor upgrade's done, but it's not like, I mean, the army supply is literally, you know, very, very small. It's at 12 right now here for Rogue. He is making more Lings. Okay, so he is going to commit from this.
He's going for the third base as well, just to make sure he's got that on the back end as well, just to be able to transition into it.
You've got the money, you might as well get the hatchery, right?
Yeah, the extra production that it gives as well will be pretty decent. A couple of little Banelings trying to do a little sneak around attack, perhaps, if he can find his avenue back there to the mineral line, but there's an Overlord scouting for that. A little bit mispositioned. Oh no, never mind. Sorry, that's Rogue's Overlord. My bad. So actually not seen at all. Gonna try to distract with the Lings and get inside with the Banelings. They're actually trying to connect onto the Banelings of Solar. Won't get insane connections there, just a few, and then the Lings will be able to be dealt with as well. But the rest of the unit's gonna try to filter in now. A nice connection there with that one Baneling from Solar, softening up a lot of them from Rogue as the Banelings try to get the juicy connections. They've got just 1 HP each, but they're going to be able to get some connections onto those drones.
Oh, he needs to go to the back, go to the back, go to the back. Oh! 8 drones go down. So it's 32 workers to 26. He's not done. There's more coming in. Oh, and he's thinking about going to LA. He's thinking about Chipotle. He's like, I'm going to get Chipotle in America.
Oh my God!
That's it.
And that's going to be it. Rogue will be the one to head on to BlizzCon as well. It's going to be a rematch between Serral and Rogue at the BlizzCon finals. Congratulations to him.
Yes.
And his dip machine in the background.
I know. I'll tell you what. He might win big and buy a golden dip machine. Yeah, I mean, congratulations to Rogue. Why is it both Rogue and Serral when they win, they're like,
Yes, I have done it.
It's like no reaction at all here.
I have succeeded in the tournament that I set out to win.
Yes, I am. I am the second best so far. But he may be the first best if he wins.
That's true.
BlizzCon.
And then Artosis
Real
is going to
articulate
just
over here.
morph into
Artosis!
another being when he sees it live.
Artosis is going to become insufferable if he wins.
The amount of tweets.
Literally.
He's going to go into another video Twitter war against all the community, giving
gonna
out
be
more
insane.
video essays about why
I can already see that, you know, he wins there and Dan like takes his headset off and picks up a mic and just starts walking up and down the with his finger pointed at everybody.
You doubted me.
You
doubted me.
You knew I was right too. Oh, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. Or Serral wins, and you know.
And then everyone realizes that, yes, he is the GOAT as well as
Yeah. And we might have to have another Team Liquid article made.
Yeah.
We might have to dig this up. Guys, this has been Season 6, and this is the last day in the studio, by the way. We're going to be moving. We're going to try to upgrade our operations. I hope you guys have noticed that, like, every season we're trying to kind of add more stuff in. I love the map.
Yes.
What do we call them? Flyovers or whatever?
Map
the map
intros.
players. Yeah, map intros look great. So in between this year, next year, we're going to be trying to build out kind of upgrade the space, basically. Here's the schedule, but the only thing you need to know is that we're going to be at BlizzCon.
Oh, yeah.
Artosis is going to be down there, casting with me. Also, you know, for BlizzCon, there's going to be more than just that for StarCraft, guys. The Classic Cup's going on. We're talking about like Warcraft 3, Heroes of the Storm, StarCraft 1, of course, and StarCraft 2. There's going to be a lot of great matches down there. I'll let Blizzard announce the rest of that, but you do want to check it out. Shout outs to Blizzard for letting us use their stage. We're super excited to have Blizzard kind of making their comeback. Yeah. So, I mean, life is good. And you know what else is good? Oof, how could I forget? Archon Studio. Guys, I'll tell you what, man. When I was a kid, I wanted to get into tabletop games, but I couldn't because I was poor. It was hard to get into. It was hard to. But I'll tell you what. Now that I'm a grown-up and I've got money, I'm going to be getting into the Archon Studio game. Man. Oh, yeah. They've got amazing stuff. You guys got to check them out. You got to get their sets. They've been incredibly supportive to us. I love the way their figurines look. They truly do justice to StarCraft and the universe and the way everything looks. I love that dark art style that StarCraft has. That's what really got me into it when I was a kid, when I was in middle school. And they really captured it. I mean, it looks like the figurines look like they're literally right out of the cinematics.
Yeah, they look awesome.
And it's a game, too. It's a game you can actually play.
Yeah, hopefully we can get a game going ourselves one of these times as well to see
we
how
will.
it works out. But anyways, thank you guys as well over on the Patreon for helping us out. This is, of course, how we've been able to host all of these events these last couple of years. It's been absolutely wonderful to have you guys helping us out, and we would love to earn some more of your support. You can vote on different maps. You can vote on the players. You can get all the replays.
Yes. We hope we've inspired you enough to get the credit card out and sign up.
Yes, those 3 digits on the back are very important as
well.
well.
We need those 3 digits, man.
Make sure you send that to us.
The account won't link.
Yes.
Go to tastelessreds.com. We've also got merch if you want to get merch. And, of course, you want to get merch.
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you want to get merch?
Yeah, get RSL on your mug.
You've got to wear clothes every time you go out of the house.
Yeah.
So why would you not buy the clothes that we've got here?
Yeah, exactly.
Subscribe to the YouTube. Sorry for all these calls to action, but they work. People do it when we ask them to. We're trying to grow that YouTube out. The live viewership's been incredible, again, on YouTube, on Twitch, and everywhere else. But we want more people to find the VODs. A lot of people have to, everybody's older now from StarCraft 2. We do have young people that pick up the game and play it out, but a lot of people, they're in school, they've got kids, they've got jobs. So, we want to find as many people as possible. And, of course, after BlizzCon, November 21st and 22nd, we're going to be in London.
Oh, my God. That is going to be so awesome.
And, yes, the game will be casted in the Queen's language.
Yes.
So,
we're all going to suddenly have British accents when we're there. It's going to be crazy.
That's right. We are super excited to be going down to London. We're going to have announcements later on for the actual venue and how to buy tickets. But, look, it was really cool to meet you guys when we did our event in Gangnam.
Yep.
And we're looking forward to doing this in London, and having our first foray into Europe. And, Europeans love StarCraft 2.
That's true.
It is massive over there. And we know a lot of you guys that are watching are over in Europe as well. So we're excited to go to your neck of the woods. And again, you can join the Patreon for free if you want to get information and stay updated about the tickets and the venue and everything, if you're able to make it. And, I guess that's it, right?
Yeah, man. That's about it. We are signing off in just a moment here, saying goodbye to this studio, but we are not going to be done at all. We've got more RSL coming up. It's going to be great.
Yeah, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you at BlizzCon. We love you. Bye-bye.